And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We took a short little break, not for too long, because when it comes down to the Esports Club, the action never stops. So here we are back once again with the LG Ultragear Tec Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. It's going to be your boy, Aggressive, joined by the salty boy himself, Salty. And honestly...
salty boy who's salty. Nice one, Aggressive. I'll give you 1 point for it.
Okay, 1 point for me and another point for you guys as we head on down over to today's match fixtures. One more time to see exactly which teams are going to be playing this time around, ladies and gentlemen. And honestly, when you consider the 4 p.m. game, it was a spicy affair, Salty. These two teams, they went at each other hard. We thought that the match was going to be a 2-0. Team Valor take it all away. FS Esports, they don't really have a chance. But then FS, it was as if fire was lit under them, and they just kept the ball rolling in their court over and over again, and they never wanted to give up. An intense matchup indeed, and I really am hoping that match number 2 will be pretty much the same. An underdog story coming on down through from the side of Sus Squad, but at the same time, when you consider the raw firepower from the side of Reckoning, Salty, I think this match is going to be an incredibly difficult.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, I feel like the people who missed out the 4 p.m. game between FS Esports and Team Valor, they should be feeling sad, because that's not a game you see every time. It was 13-11, then 14-12, and 13-11. It's not even like the rounds were not close. It was like clutch scenarios every single time. Now, people don't really expect this when two underdogs fight, and that's what I'm actually looking forward to. Reckoning Esports versus Sus Squad can be a similar storyline, Aggressive. Of course, Reckoning, they've had a very strong start in this tournament, and if I'm not mistaken, they're probably at the top of the table as well. Sus Squad, I'm not really sure if they will be able to put up a strong fight against Reckoning, but I really want to find out what they have in store for Reckoning.
Yeah, that's for sure. But before we do talk about the teams, let's head on down over towards the MVP standings and see who've been tearing up the server a lot. But sadly, when you do consider the MVP standings, there's not really going to be a lot of shifts. And the teams that are going to be playing today, none of their players are going to be on the boards. Just for a quick wrap up, it's going to be SK Rossi on the first position, Knight Rider on the second, SK Ball on the third, and Paradox on the fourth. These guys have been staples throughout this entire tournament, with Knight Rider being the dark horse. I just thought about the situation, Knight Rider being the dark horse. So he's gonna be the one coming on down on towards that second position out of absolutely nowhere. But at the same time, he really does deserve it. He's an absolutely incredible fragger. But in a way, the MVP standings have been wrapped on up. You know the jazz. These players, they're absolutely incredible. So let's head on down over to the group standings instead, ladies and gentlemen, because that's where the real spicy affairs are going to be happening when we consider the hierarchy of the points from top to bottom. And it is going to be True Rippers having an insurmountable lead in their favor. 5-1 with 10 points. These guys are just tearing everyone apart. And so goes for the side of Reckoning Esports. They're also just plowing through their opposition as if they're butter at this point. They have nothing to really worry about. But at the same time, Sus Squad, they're in a pretty tough spot of their own. 2-3 and on 5 points, you're Salty. This is pretty much do or die for them. If they don't win here, the chances of trying to head on down over onto playoffs become small.
Absolutely. I feel like Velocity, the kind of position they're in, if Sus Squad don't start challenging Velocity right from now on, it's going to be very difficult, because I don't expect Velocity to lose the remaining game. For sure, they've had a slow start to the tournament. They had 2 losses, but I feel like Velocity can recover from it. Talking about Reckoning Esports, though, they have a game in hand as compared to True Rippers, and that basically means that they are in a position where they can topple them and reclaim that #1 spot in the table as well. So that is something which I'll be having my eye out for.
Yeah, Reckoning, they're a team that can absolutely take down their opposition in a matter of seconds. And it was a really big surprise, because this Season 2 is where Reckoning put their first step down with this new roster to go into the tier 1 scene with a bang. And with the bang that they did go, ladies and gentlemen, they just took down everyone. Doesn't matter who they face, either Velocity, Enigma, True Rippers. They just tore through the entire servers because of the way that they were playing a lot of their matchups. And speaking of wrecking, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta know a little bit more about the lineup, because this new lineup has been going through everyone in a matter of seconds. And when you consider their team spotlight, all of these players, man, Salty, they deserve to take a bow.
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel like Reckoning's truest strength lies in their unity, the way they construct their attacks, the way every single player knows what to do in every situation. They're not someone who boasts star players, star powers in the form of, let's say, the likes of, I don't know, maybe SK Rossi or SK Wow, the ones who are there in the at the tippy top of the MVP standings. But Reckoning doesn't need that because their team functions as a unit and not dependent on one particular player. And I kind of feel like aggressive, it's actually better for a team to have synergy and a good composition as a unit instead of having one single player and having a team built around him. What are your thoughts though?
When you consider the side of Reckoning, their team, it was literally an underdog story. We didn't really expect this to happen. They were playing a lot of their matchups differently. I saw them in other tournaments and they were performing beautifully. But when it came down to the gauntlet, these guys just tore everyone apart. It was the biggest underdog story that we have seen. And now they're no longer the underdogs anymore, ladies and gentlemen. These guys deserve to be at that tier 1 position. They deserve all the credit that they have gained. And they're going to be the ones to take that number 1 position with almost 0 losses, with except that one that they did face off initially. So moving on down the line here, when we go into their player spotlight, let's see player spotlight powered by AMD Ryzen Radiant, ladies and gentlemen. Juven is going to be the one to tear up the server the most here. And when you consider Juven, this guy has been here for so long. He's not really a new face, but at the same time, when you consider him being on that Sova, he's been revealing areas since the day he was born.
Absolutely, he has been revealing areas, but also the fact that the usage of the drone has become so essential aggressive. I feel like without the drone, Sova probably isn't half the player he is, and he's been using it to perfection. The amount of information, just like I mentioned, every single player has a role cut out in this lineup, and Juven, he's been taking off that initiator role for quite some time, and he's been succeeding in it. And it's not just the fact that he's giving his team information, he's giving his team intel to work with, it's also him fragging as well. You look at a lot of Sovas out there, they probably wouldn't have a +1 KD ratio, but this guy has it as well. So it's not just information that he's giving, he's also giving in kills, and he's also kicking in with the guns as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. But at the same time, I think that the side of Sus Squad, they're going to get a little bit sus at us if you're not going to show them a little bit of their own time on the spotlight, ladies and gentlemen. So let's head on down over into their team intro and see exactly who's going to be playing from their end, ladies and gentlemen. And honestly speaking, Sus Squad as a team, they've been taking leaps and strides to try and break into the tier 1 organization scene, but at the same time, they're just not able to make it. Zoid, Trekshot, AZ, they've been trying, but at the same time, it's just not there yet. The consistency factor, the team playing coordination, it's not that present. But at the same time, their raw mechanical skill has gotten them through a lot of sticky situations and gotten them a lot of wins in the process as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like that has been the problem with a lot of these underdog teams. Now, you look at all of these players and you feel like, yeah, the skill disparity isn't all that much, right? I feel like most of these players know how to hit their shots, they know how to click heads, but sometimes it does feel like as a unit, their strat book feels a little too light. They either try and rely too much on the YOLO rushes, or possibly they have one or two I don't know, variations here and there, but nothing which is going to really keep the opposition on their toes every single time. The same comes in the defensive situation as well. Most of the teams, they try and have one single setup which they think is going to last them for the entire half, but that doesn't really happen. You got to have different formations and you have to have different tactics ready for every single situation. So I feel like Sasquad, that is one place where they might actually get to work a little bit. And from here, I guess they are only gathering experience and they might actually come back stronger next season as well. But I'm not really ruling them out in this one, so don't get me wrong.
Yeah, so squad as a team, they've been performing really well, but at the same time, they need to step up a lot more to try and go up against the juggernauts that is going to be the side of Reckoning Esports. So let's head on down over on towards the player spotlight powered by AV Ryzen Radiant for the side of Susquad, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be none other than AEZ. And the thing about AEZ is that he's been performing, but at the same time, his performances have been a little bit too lackluster. But on that Omen, you can pretty much guarantee that he's going to be an absolute anchor. But at the same time, Salty, I want to see him on the Astra just a little bit more. His own pickups are good, but I believe that the entirety of Susquad, they need a lot more utility to try and take down the side of Reckoning.
True that. I mean, if you think about it, the Omen versus Astra debate has been going on for quite some time, but I feel like the current meta, the Astra, is just so much better because of the fact that you have stars, which you can, deploy and then redeploy yet again. You can pick them up and you can redeploy in a different position, which just gives you added advantage, right? It helps you. It helps your team to buy space in different occasions. With Omen, you only get a flash along with the smokes. Of course, with the shroud step, you do get to create different angles, but there's only all that much you can do by placing yourself in various situations in unorthodox angles. So, of course, the debate is gonna keep going on for forever. But AZ95, I guess I would definitely want him to show what his metal is in this game against Reckoning Esports.
Yeah, honestly, both of these teams, they're going to be fired up and ready, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to be fired up as well because I got myself a can of Red Bull by scanning the QR code that's right there, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to scan it. Get yourself that can of Red Bull. Get yourself energized because as we do head on over towards the map beater screen to check out the battlefields, I'm really excited and I need to get pumped up as well because this map
Hmm.
selection is going to be really interesting. I know for a fact what you all are going to say. We always see Haven right at the very beginning. A big sigh. But at the same time, you should not be sighing because this is a map pick where the side of Reckoning should have a lot of advantages, but at the same time, so do the side of Susquad because of their aggressive playstyle and their unorthodox approach to take a lot of these different engagements. The map of Haven can be an absolute roller coaster of emotions as well as when it comes down to the terms of playstyles. Sometimes the players are going to be playing overly defensive, overly aggressive. Sometimes they're going to switch up for map control. Sometimes they're not going to take any form of map control, play up on retakes. Haven is a map where both of these teams are a little bit uneven, I would say. A lot of changes could happen here, but at the same time, a lot of textbook approaches can happen as well. Because when you consider the entirety of the gauntlet, the teams have grown a lot. So I really want to see how far Susquad have come to try and take down a juggernaut known as Reckoning. Are they going to be able to do it on the map of Haven where we know for a fact that Reckoning have the advantage? Or are they going to falter and maybe fall as well on the map of Binding Split here? So
Absolutely. I mean, Haven, Icebox, the larger maps have always been tactically more heavy, right? And therefore, it gets a little hard if you try and contest the big teams. I am considering Reckoning a big team right now, considering that they are at the top of the table. Uh, it gets very difficult for underdog teams for the likes of Sus Squad. We got to see FS as well against Team Valor, right? Team Valor, they were considerably in a position where they were at the top of the table as well for quite some time in the league. But I mean, you see similar storylines building up, right? Haven has become a comfortable pick for all of these teams right now because of the fact that the amount of game time that they spend in this map has been so much. It doesn't really matter whose home ground it is. You really want to play Haven when it's a best of three series. But again, you have to come down to the conversation of where or how do you actually execute your plans on Haven. In Haven, it's something where you need a lot of plans. In an attack, you need to have those variations, and you have so many different entry points, and you have to make use of all of them because otherwise the defense wouldn't be on top of their toes. And I just said it, if you try and be predictable, it just doesn't make any sense because you will be shut down every single time. And I love the fact that FS pulled off such amazing moves in the map of Haven. They tried to explore the B side, they tried to explore the A side, the C side as well. The 4 p.m. game, it was absolutely incredible. But I'm trying to see something similar from Sus Squad as well. And if they do so aggressive, I'm pretty sure they'll catch Reckoning off guard.
yeah, honestly, the thing about Haven is that this is a map you always pick up when you have much more of that strategical advantage. When you are damn sure
Yeah.
that your strategies are absolutely incredible, you pick up Haven. So the main thing that I really want to highlight is that whenever we think about the map selections coming out from a lot of our region's teams, they always used to love that Ascent pickup. Ascent was such a common pick when you consider a couple of patches ago. Let's just say only 2 months ago, like you would always see
Yeah.
Ascent being that first initial pick. Now look where the dynamic has shifted. Everyone, and I mean everyone, picks up Haven right at the very beginning. Why exactly? Because Ascent is a map where you like to try and go in for gunfights. That's a map you pick up when you know for a fact that you can absolutely dominate your opponents when it comes down to the terms of pure raw mechanics. But Haven is a map where there's a lot more of a difference. If you have a proper strategy, if you know how to play together as a team properly, you can easily take down even the juggernauts if you play your cards properly. This is why Haven is a strong pickup for the side of Sasquatch. They have a chance here because when you consider the raw mechanical aim of the side of Reckoning, I would honestly say that they have the advantage here in comparison to Cisco.
All right, then mechanical advantage versus tactical superiority. We'll have to find out what actually triumphs in this game. But talking about the agent composition right now, I actually love this. I've talked about this with Universe as well. I absolutely adore the double initiator lineup in this map because I feel like it is quintessential. You need to get that much information. On the other side, though, I can see a double duelist pick with similar setups, an Astra running there and a Cypher and a Sova. Now we have an Omen on the side of Team RGE. Now that might hurt them a little bit because I always say this: the Astra allows you that much more map control, right? You can practically smoke gravity well and stun from anywhere in the map, and that allows you to go for flanks and also provide support to your teammate who's probably in the A side and you come in from the C side as well. So that gives you a lot more control. But with the Omen, there is issues with mobility, but for sure I think Panzer will be able to utilize that. But the double initiative is something which I'm going to be looking out for aggressive because that is going to be so much more important. Imagine the amount of map control and the amount of real estate that they can buy just because of the fact that they have this composition up and running and a jet working along with it. There's no real trouble for Reckoning Esports in this one, I feel like. Now these guys, they're just chilling right now. They're smiling, they're talking to each other.
Like Botnev is just so pumped up. He's just so ready. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna kill them all. You don't need to see my face because my face is the face of a killer. You're just gonna see my mouse as I swipe through the entire screen, just headshotting people into the next dimension. That's just Botnev for you, ladies and gentlemen. He always likes to show off. He always likes to, be in your face as much as possible. That's what he does best. And now is the time for the side of Reckoning to show exactly what they can do here. But still a little bit of a slow start. Never mind, it's not going to be a slow start. Oh my god, Botnev, he just hold that W key so hard. So he's going to be able to tap one person away. But Panzer's in such a bad situation. He's going for it. But Panzer. Okay, sure, buddy. Go for it.
Didn't really expect that man to jump peek over there, but a 2v4 right now, practically a 2v3 at the moment. The Sova is quite low on the HP. Juven gets taken down, a drive-by from Kubrick's, but he finally hits the dust because Jane is going to shut him down 1v3. Effectively a 1v2, but he needs to isolate these fags. Gaga out there in the CD region dashes in, but that's too ambitious because Gaga is going to shut him down. That's early advantage for the side of...
Honestly, I didn't really expect this to go down this quickly. I was thought that it was going to be a little bit more slower, maybe a little bit more tactical, but Reckoning are like, what do you mean tactical? I'm just going to push down from the side of C long and I'm going to see if I can get a kill. And that's actually a good plan. It's not really a bad plan as well here, Salty, because consider something. Normally what happens on the map of Haven, all of the teams, they're always going to make their way down towards that A side, because on the A side, that is where you can test the waters a little bit more. That's where you can understand how your opponents are playing, how their defensive holds are going to be. But this time, that's not going to happen. Chris? You just didn't walk up from the side of Fate and get a kill down on the Gaga who was trying to make a TikTok video in the background.
TikTok video, fine by me. Kubrick, he gets a 2 of his own, but Trist is going to find an end to him. 3v3 right now, anything can happen. And for sure, this situation is going to favor the attackers. They can find themselves post-plant positions. A lot of time being given. The defenders taking the sweet time in the world. I guess they have done their job getting those 2 frags, but they want to keep it clean. They want to drop as much weapons as they can. Botnev with an SMG.
That was a little bit dangerous to say the very least. Botnev nearly got caught out by that but at the same time, it's working out in his favor. Swinging around the corner, he needs to go in for that flash.
Last player standing.
Nah, it just didn't happen.
I mean, that's fine, I guess. For me, it definitely is a win because look at Reckoning, right? They drop so much weapons from the opposite camp. They hurt their economy as much as they possibly can. But now they have a full buy, and the opposite team, they're still trying to go for that little bonus they have. They're trying to use the SMGs to their fullest, and next round possibly hope for a complete full buy. But at this point, at 2-0, I don't think it's gonna hurt that much, isn't it? Aggressive.
Yeah, 2-0, not really much of a problem here, especially when you consider how successful the eco was in the last round. So the last round eco really working out in their favor, but at the same time, JN, it just takes down the Cypher once again. Hopefully, he was not making TikTok video this time around, just got caught out by the guy swinging from the side of the show. But at the same time, it's gonna hurt, especially now that you don't have the Cypher to try and blow in for a lurk, especially on the attacker side. Yeah, you have no way of trying to get any sort of information or try and play for a possible lurk because the Cypher is the only one who could actually go in for this lurk when you consider his utility. Everyone else is required for a site execution, but at the same time, Cringy, he's just walking up down from the side of B-Bait. He doesn't care. And this alarm bot is going to give away a lot of the information, but at the same time here, Salty, this information, what are they going to do with it?
Let's find that out. Two players coming in from the A-Link. I love the fact that they're running back into
Spike
so much
planted.
space. Cringe is actually falling on the back of it. This can be quintessential. Can he get those two frags? He gets one, not the second one as well, because Juven is going to find the dirt. Or rather, he's going to get the kill for himself. Trist, not really successful. Kubrick and Joy coming together. Fans are getting two of his own, but Kubrick's finding him. A 1v1 being set up. The flash comes through.
Oh no!
Oh my!
Oh no, Kubrick's! Fat finger. That's a fat finger right there.
The dash wasn't really the best.
He wanted a hug. Hugs are important, Salty. Come on. We all need a hug in our life. Like, I'm pretty sure that you need a hug as well.
Yeah. I actually read a medical report that hugs actually prevent heart attacks to some extent. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it helps you live longer as well in the process. So ladies and gentlemen, get a hug from your loved ones because Kubrick's wanted one as well, but yeah, I didn't think that like Bondef really was a person for hugs. Like, look at his face, man. He's gonna be that big bear that's gonna claw you out and eat you whole instead of a bear that's gonna give you a lot of hugs in the process. He's not that cuddly type of guy. Cold-blooded killer he is, but hey, tough love. Moving on down the line though, ladies and gentlemen. That was a good run coming on down through from the side of Reckoning. They were gonna be able to get a lot of those avenues. They cleared out pretty much everything. But at the same time, Poolbrick's making that small mistake of fat fingering that E-key. Yeah, it ended up pretty badly for him. He also had 4 bullets left here, Salty, so even if he took that engagement, I don't really think he would have been able to go through with it properly, especially when you consider the positional advantage of Bondef in that situation. And Bondef, Nani, you just did not go in for a spray and actually get away with it. Like, come on, dude. This guy, show some respect, man. These guys have families back at home now, don't they?
Oh my god, yeah, for sure they do. The drone is going to give some sort of information, at least. Kubrick doesn't get spotted, but I'm pretty sure they understand that an A-hit is still possible at this point. Sus Squad at this point, I guess they're trying to spread themselves out as much as possible, trying to thin out the defense and trying to gather as much intel as they possibly can. The double duelist composition, it doesn't really give you information as such, but you need to risk it to get those up and running. But as of now, no real estate for Sus Squad. They've completely been pinched into this A corridor, and they're still trying to make anything. Still trying to get some sort of space working in, and Juven being tucked in this corner. This can be deadly.
30 seconds.
Now they hear the stars. This
Yeah,
can be bad.
Yeah, it's just not gonna be working out in their favor. Zoid and Gaga, they just run on down over onto the side, 1 kill each, and they just clear it all up. And now at this stage here, Salty, what can they really do here? The entirety of the side of Reckoning, they need to try and go in for this retake. 2 flashes are available for the side of Bondep, though, and Bondep, he needs to use those flashes perfectly to try and go in for this engagement. One good flash can clear out both the side of Graffiti and also towards the side of L, so it gets caught out. Panther's got a good win for 1, but easy with the line, that's gonna be able to take down 2, and Kala jumps out, and he's gonna be able to get another one down over towards the side of Panzer. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a very swift round, but at the same time, AEC, that lineup looked absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful stuff right there. I mean, we can see the instant replay as well. But 3-1 the scoreline, and suddenly Sus squad, they look good, don't they? Aggressive. I mean, you look at them trying to buy time as much as possible. They don't look like underdogs. They look pretty composed. They are here with a plan, and they're executing the plan to perfection. Look at what they're forced Reckoning into. It's an equal round for them with a 3-player stack into the A side, and all 5 players of there. They're trying to brute force their way in. There's a backstab running as well. The Hunter's Fury tags Cringy a little too much.
Beautiful fire.
Sprays him down. Zoid as well. A lot of these kills are coming through, but they're aware that there might be a backstab running. I mean, they have taken down the backstab as well, but they're still prepared for Panzer's positioning.
If they expect Panzer to be in this spot, this is going to be a very big blow down towards the side of Reckoning. They really do need a couple of kills to make this eco round just a little bit more worth it. Because when you consider that 1-4 scoreline, you need to try and get a couple of kills here. Otherwise, why do you need to get a couple of kills? Because if you don't get it, you're losing out when it comes down to the terms of ultimate economy. Having your ultimates present as much as possible is very crucial, especially when you consider the Seekers coming on down through from the side of Bondet. Bondet needs to have it as much as he possibly can to try and gain as much information on this map. That's the basis of the dual initiated composition. You need to try and stabilize his ultimates as much as you possibly can. That Hunter's Fury and also the Seekers can act in tandem with one another and just completely tear through the entire server. But at the same time, it's just not gonna happen. It's gonna be a flawless round coming on down through, ladies and gentlemen, from the side of the squad. And honestly, it's a little bit of a surprise here, Salty. I was expecting a much more of a one-sided show coming on down through from the side of Reckoning, but Sus Squad, I think they did their homework and they know exactly what to expect when it comes down to the terms of strategy. So remember what I said previously about Haven being a map where strategic dominance is more important than mechanical dominance? I think that we are getting a showcase of this right here and right
now. I mean, I'm not really sure to speak on the one-sided dominant thing because right now it's still very early. We've just seen only two, 3 full buy rounds as of yet. So yeah, I mean, it's still can be a pretty dicey affair once Reckoning find things back up and running. As of now, the defense has really struggled, possibly because of the fact that their economy wasn't really at their best when they started out their full buy rounds, and number 2 is because they're yet to find their groove. Now, not really taking away credit from Team Sus Squad as well, because I feel like their attacks have been that good as well. Like, I love the fact that they are buying time. I love the fact that they are trying to get as much realistic as they possibly can, playing on the back of information. This is calculated maneuvers. It's not YOLO rushes, right? They are playing down the clock, and you need a lot of confidence, aggressive, to actually run down the clock and attack at the dire end of the round itself. So I love what they're doing right now. I love that they're thinning themselves out as much as possible, trying to see what the setup in C looks like, trying to see what the setup in A looks like. But this time around, the J ends up can actually be a bit problematic. But it's not actually the AWP that's problematic. Panzer, he actually gets away with murder right there. He gets 1 kill and falls back to safety. Doesn't really overextend to get the second one. Zoid lives another day, but at what cost? At the cost of their controller, aggressive. They've lost their Astra. They've lost their smokes. They've lost their map control.
What just happened in a matter of seconds? Panzer, he just literally got a kill, and he got out of it alive while holding on down from the side of C-Long Cubby. You don't live through that, no matter who you are, unless you're Panzer.
That's just Omen. That's just Omen things, right? You get into weird positions where people don't really expect you to be. You get the kill, and then you get back to safety, right? Who could have done this apart from an Omen? He used the flash, he used the shouted step. That's the advantage that you get. You get an aggressive controller who will give you kills just like that. But look at this, so cringy.
One less.
Sad, man. That was sad.
30 seconds
Yeah,
left.
at this stage, it's all just about the cleanup. Bonda getting caught out as well on towards the back end. Kubrick's gonna be the one to take down the facility. Gaga gets another kill. Zoid comes on down through being able to shut down Panzer. And with that, poor old JN, he's on all his
Spike
lonesome to
planted.
try and maybe find something out, try and maybe take down a person, but at the same time, once again, that tactical pause really did not help the side of Reckoning whatsoever when it comes down to figuring out a lot of the strategic plannings that the side of Sus Squad are trying to employ. The strategy is really good here from there, and understanding the positions and the avenues they need to go for, and understanding the much more aggressive tendencies of Reckoning is really giving them the chance to try and take them over here. And this is why Sus Squad really did pick up this first initial map. I do believe that they did their homework, understanding that, hey, we know for a fact that Reckoning, they're a very aggressive team. They like to constantly go in for pushes, and if they want to go in for pushes, let's try and shut them down on the angles they like to push on around over into. Just consider something. When you think about the side of A-Long, what happened here? One person was holding down aggressively from the side of A-Long position. Another person was holding down right on the left-hand side cubby. Where do you go? You already know the positions. You already know they like to play it aggressively. How do you switch it up? You need to slow things down, play a little bit more safe, and respect your opposition. Because at this point, Sus Squad, they're not being respected whatsoever. And this could just end things off really badly for them if they're not careful.
True that. But it also seems to be like
Scanning
the
ahead.
A defense kind of looks a little weak, because see, look at this, right? The C side was theirs. They did get a kill over there, Reckoning Esports, but as soon as Team Sus Squad to change things up and try and hit the A side, they do it with absolute ease. They plant the spike and they get to first round position such comfortably. Now look at this, though. Panzer all by himself, Sheriff to work with. He does have the KJ to work with, but I don't think that's gonna be enough.
Oh, no.
Jet dashes in. There's the judge available. Get as much kills as you want. Miss a long shot. Oh my god, that's not allowed. That is not allowed. You're not allowed to do that. Reckoning Esports. Bondev with a frenzy brings it down a little bit, but JN Yop still
Spike
available.
down. C.
Big dividends.
Pin.
Yeah, this op is just giving them all of the advantages in the entire world. But at the same time, a little bit of a mishap from the side of Triss. That's hopefully not going to go on a highlight reel. And hopefully Riot's not going to see this and not nerf the judge. Because the judge requires a nerf, but at the same time, it requires a buff as well. For the case of Triss, that is.
30 seconds left.
Oh, he just doesn't care.
Spike down.
No one will do that other than JN, ladies and gentlemen. He just swung the corner with an operator, even though he was recon. It is going to be Juven with the last kill coming on down through onto Gaga. But at the same time, a thrifty round win coming on down through from the side of the defenders, ladies and gentlemen. Reckoning, they're actually playing their cards properly.
Do that. Right now, scoreline 2-5. What do you think about it? I mean, I feel like Sus Squad have done enough. 5 rounds on attack. They might get another 2 or 3. If they get this to probably an 8-4, I would say it's a victory for Sus Squad. I mean, not victory as in a complete map victory, but I would say they have done enough in their attacking half.
Yeah, they're playing this so beautifully, but once again, Bondef, you gotta show them a little bit of respect. A little bit too much aggression from the side of Garage could just end up really badly for you if you're not careful. But Zoid, he does have the runner back available, and he's ready to use this, and he's gonna be popping it almost immediately. Triss going around the corner, pops those nanoswarms, and with the nanoswarms now being popped, he does get a little bit of damage at the bare minimum on towards the side of Zoid, but they're going in for the exact same execution that they did in the previous round. It go really bad for them if they're not careful here. Triss going in for that spam, not gonna be able to find that kill, but does get a good chunk of damage on towards the players. Panzers know for a fact that Gaga is holding on down on the opposite side of the garage door, who's going to be going in for this engagement. Now, as the time is now ticking on down, they're not popping the Killjoy lockdown, so it's a little bit questionable, but at the same time, I understand why they're not going in for it. They want to play it full, they want to save the lockdown for another rainy day, but at the same time, Kubrick! He's just gotta be a little bit too good to be true here. He's gotta be able to shut down multiple going in for that swing. Panzer spots out the gun barrel, but he's not gonna be able to go in for this kill. Gaga gets another one on towards the side of the back end. He's gonna go in for that lure, but Panzer and JN, they're still holding down the fort, but with the spike timer ticking on down through, there's not really a lot of time. There is nothing they can work with. They need to run out of the way and save that operator and fandom for a rainy day. They're gonna make their way out of the site, but at the same time, that lockdown could have been so crucial here, Salty. They could have placed it on towards the angle of Garage. The Garage side was completely safe with Cancer watching the front doors. But they didn't go in for that investment, and it's a massive question mark on my eyes.
Not mind though too much, because even if they had deployed the lockdown over there, Sus Squad had the Hunter's Fury available, so it would have been nullified irrespective of what. So considering that, yeah, the lockdown investment doesn't. I mean,
Yeah, true.
it still makes a little bit of sense to me. But I like what you said, because of course the Hunter's Fury also comes with its added con of the fact that one agent gets taken down, right? It gets taken off the charts of the equation just to make sure that the lockdown is broken, right? So the Sova becomes an easy target. But nonetheless, it is the 9th round already, and look at where Jane is. He's waiting for that peak, trying to save Bondef right there, but Gaga was just way too clever. No real approach as of yet. Team Sus Squad, they're taking it slow. They've done this time and time again. Try and take that methodical real estate. Try and get as much information as possible. And right now they have something. Flash does come out, but they have completely blocked Bondef, and they've taken him out of the equation. They might actually hit the B side after causing so much ruckus, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try and hit the A side as well, and that's exactly what they do. Because of the fact that the A side has been so weak, but look at this though. J in with his own. It's gonna be a bit of a problem. He doesn't land the collateral. Might actually land the third as well. Not does get the third, but that's fine. I guess he's done his job already. Kubrick's just chasing him down hard on his tails, but Juven is gonna take him down. Doesn't really doing much. JN getting the third with the op. Oh my god, aggressive. What am I actually looking? This is like a pendulum.
Yeah, they're just the advantages are just swinging from the left and right, and there is no in between. That's why we are calling it a pendulum. But at the same time, I think the pendulum is swinging a little bit more towards the side of the left instead of the right, because now that side of Reckoning, they understand how to try and go in for a lot of these different engagements. Things could change up massively here, Salty, because consider something. Juven, Juven's gonna be going in for this recon bolt, and this push could just help them out, but Bondef!
And time and time again, Reckoning, they've suffered this, right? They try and go too aggressive. Exactly. The lockdown comes through, and so does the Hunter's Fury. It will destroy the lockdown no matter what, but no kill whatsoever. Trist being completely blocked out of sight at 3v5. It's not going to be an easy retake, especially with the AWP, because I consider the AWP a liability when it comes to a retake situation. Of course, some players just turn it into an atom bomb. Gaga being butchered around there. The flash available, Blaze-Storm coming through as well, but the crossfire setup looks a bit too strong.
What Zoid?
Oh my goodness, these rounds.
Zoid?
These rounds are fast, man. These rounds are fast. I love the fact that this team, they're so well composed, right? They deploy the flash. The paranoia comes through from the Omen, and as soon as that happens, the Jet dashes in, butchers that player right down his chest. There's nothing that you can possibly do, because according to me, the Omen flash is one of the strongest in the game. It probably flashes you out of your entire vision, and the Jet just made use of that. 7-3 the scoreline. Who could have probably thought that Sus Squad would be in such a lead right now?
First of all, Zoid, that's kind of illegal what you just did there. Through a paranoia, you got a kill on a player who was jumping down from heaven, and you got a one tap. You literally shot one bullet, and it hit him in the head, and he died. Yeah, that's gonna hurt a lot. Moving on down the line here, ladies and gentlemen, these type of incredible plays coming on down through from the side of Sus Squad. We didn't really expect this. And Salty, are you gonna finally agree that the strategic dominance coming on down through from the Sus Squad is actually putting a damper on the mechanical dominance from the side of Reckoning?
100%. 100%, because you will hit your shots if you are in right positions, right? Look at this. They didn't even spot that.
Oh no.
He might actually be caught out with a Bucky.
Be a bad spot. But at the same time, I think they know, man. I think they know. He's not going to take any chances after one pass.
I knew it!
Oh,
Spike down. C.
Hello?
One enemy remaining.
Bucky OP, maybe?
Bucky Gaming. Nonetheless, Juven peeking out. This is a thrifty and Reckoning pulled off. Now, it all comes down because of the fact that Panzer was
round
unchecked.
in the half.
And
Unless he gets so many kills on that one position, dude. How many times has he done it? About 5 times already, and he still gets away with it? Like, come on, man.
that's unexpected positioning, right? I mean, you look at this. The drone was deployed to check Panzer's location. It was aimed at him because they know he is right there. But what can you possibly do if this dude has a shotgun like a Bucky and he's right at your face? The distance isn't all that much, and you cannot survive a Bucky shot from that range.
Yeah, and also you can't survive an operator shot to your forehead, especially when JN is going to be the person holding him down with the operator. Gaga goes in for a massive swing, does a little bit of attack damage on towards the side of JN. He needs to back on off, but at the same time, he's not going to be backing off a little bit too far, though, because the Flame's going to be coming down through again. That shot, man. He knows exactly what to expect, and he's looking for one more, but Gaga's going to be the one to shut him down finally at the bare minimum. Shots are going to be going on down into this quarter run out. He's going to be going for one kill at the bare minimum, but still gets straight on towards the back end. Panzer, though, it's such a beautiful lurk position. He can easily go in for the swing, maybe going for one more, but he just gets spotted out. But at the very end, he does get one more kill with Gaga. He just gets one kill. Immediately, he's gonna be able to spray transfer onto towards the face of Triss, who whips out when it comes down to the spray.
Yeah,
It does happen.
More than praising Gaga, I would say that Trist, it should have been an easy kill for him. But nonetheless, I mean, who am I to say? I'm like, what, Iron 1, 2, so yeah.
It happens. It happens to even professional players. Sometimes you're gonna wave, sometimes it's not gonna happen. Like, doesn't matter if you're the
that's
most
my bread and
cracked up
butter.
Yeah, for you, whipping is your bread and butter. But at the same time, for these professional players, these type of whiffs can cost you millions when it comes down to your tournament earnings. So you need to be very careful of when you whiff and try to gain a level of consistency. Sometimes taking a little bit of time going in for those shots is a little bit better, especially when you know for a fact that you have that advantage. But still, no harm, no foul, Trist. You tried your best there. And a well-played round coming on down through from the side of the squad, because that was a round they should not have won whatsoever. But at the same time, them going in for that win and being able to take it, it's a really good show to say the very least. But at the same time, now with the engagement coming on down through over towards that A side, ladies and gentlemen, it's now gonna be Reckoning going in for that fight. You want to go in for that swing, but Kubrick is actually gonna be going for one, being able to take down James, who's not gonna be able to get a single kill for himself. So he's gonna be going for a one down, one towards the back end. Cringy does get one. Gaga gets that double kill as well. And this Cypher is not a Sentinel anymore. He's a Battle Cypher, and he is ready to take these fights one by one, systematically tapping down his opponents as soon as they enter the site. But at the same time here, Salty, it feels like there is no structure to the madness that the side of Reckoning are trying to employ.
Yes.
It's literally running into sites like chickens with their heads cut off.
Yeah, it's much like a melody with no harmony. It can work sometimes, but it's not sustainable.
A band without drums.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, band without a drummer, man.
We get it, but yeah, I mean, I really want to see more from Reckoning, honestly, because I mean, I look at Team Sus squad. They're trying to buy time. They're trying to run down the clock, get as much information as possible, versus Reckoning, who just plainly trying to barge into side. And look at the spray coming in. It's easy because, of course, they had no information and there's a player in the back of side, and that's supposed to happen. How do you expect to dash into side, just smoke off A lanes and C lanes, and you expect to get complete side control? Nah, that's not happening. Because of course there are players in the back of side. Of course, the utility can come in through other avenues as well. And this is actually weird aggressive, because you see, Reckoning is a team that's running a double initiative composition, yet Suscon was the team who was playing more of an information game than Team Reckoning Esports. This just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, at this point, what can you really expect to do here? It's just questionable. I kind of understand what Reckoning are trying to employ, because consider something. Reckoning as a team, they're going to be going in for those fights. They have a lot of the information to make it happen, but where is the utility being used in proper conjunction with a lot of these pushes? Someone is pushing up, yes, but you also do need to consider that your opponent team are also going to be pushing up in the same accord. And with this force fire round now coming on down through from their end, are they actually going to be able to do it? A lot of the buys being a little bit too lackluster to say the very least, because now this Byron's gonna be a really tough one to engage for their end, but still Gaga goes in for that, so he's not gonna be able to go in for this engagement. Easy on the back end, got out one of the players, he's actually gonna be able to take out JN. 10 bullets left, he needs to try and go in for this reload, he needs to try and maybe deny the planter at the bare minimum. He actually gets another kill, he gets away with it. Panzer goes in for the swing, he gets taken out as well by Cringy. Cringy's gonna be good for 2, and now the last person rating is gonna be Juven. Tries to maybe pull off a heroic play, but Kubrick's is just gonna be a little too good here. And with that, Sus Squad, what are these plays, man? They're just breaking down the side of Reckoning piece by piece without any form of mercy here, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't understand this. What's going wrong with Reckoning? Because this team, they have a lot of structure, but today it feels like they have none.
Timeout for Team Reckoning. I guess they've used both of their timeouts, right, as of now.
Yep.
And something definitely isn't clicking for them. I just wonder what, because this team, if I remember correctly, they're the ones who defeated Velocity. They have a chance to go to the top of the table, and yet in the map of Haven, they're struggling against Sus Squad. Now, I'm not really saying this Squad don't deserve credit. They deserve all the credit in the world because of what they have shown. But I really want to find out, or I really want to know what exactly is not working for Reckoning, right? It doesn't feel like they're playing their default. It doesn't feel like they're playing their usual strat, because as much as I've seen Reckoning, I thought that would be the team who would try and buy time and wait for the executes instead of trying to vanilla push into sites. But it's been a complete 180-degree turn for me, because Sus Squad were the one who were taking so much time, and I've been saying this for quite some time, but that's exactly what's been working for them.
I don't understand what they're trying to do, though. Again, double initiator composition. They want to try and go in for the pushes, use the information to get a lot of map control in their favor, and then go in for the fights. But the thing is, after getting a little bit of information, the utility that you are using, you need to wait a second. You need to try and understand how you're going to be going in for this engagement. Something needs to be planned out previously to the utility being used, but it feels as though there is no previous plan. Just look at here now. The Skydog comes on through. It clears out the entirety of the A site. And now they're heading on back over to the other avenue, not really using the utility that they employed to try and get a little bit of map control for themselves. Yeah, they got game on control, but how much is it going to matter? Because you're trying to spread yourself out over onto the other sidelines, and you send the Killjoy to go into Garage when you have a Sova and a Sky ready to flash out that angle and then maybe go in for a possible lurk, depending on the amount of noise that you made there. It's questionable. They're not really using the double initiator composition to the best of its ability, and they're a little bit confused of how to take this fight.
For sure they are confused, but at this point, it feels like the defenders have no clue, because the attackers have found their way into sight. Gaga has been completely blocked off, so I does have the joint back available, but he has a flare very close to him. Kubrick actually finds Jane, Zoid through the smoke, 2 greens. He actually finds Panzer, and look at Bondef. He actually survives all these players. He finds himself in the back lines, and he gets so many kills on the back of it.
One enemy
Flash
remaining.
comes through, he gets a triple. It's actually a 1v1. The Jet is low. He finds a 1v4 clutch, and that's almost unbelievable. Bondef all by himself. There was no one. He survived that initial push behind the smokes, and he ducked himself in the corner as much as possible. The trigger discipline was immaculate. And as he found his perfect timing, he got all of them. Every shot pitch perfect, landed right in the back of the head, and he got all those kills one by one, just like adding ingredients to your favorite dish. Cooking an absolute masterclass.
Yeah, this guy deserves a medal at this stage for such an incredible performance coming on down for him. Give him that Michigan star, because this dish that he cooked up for the side of Reckoning is gonna be one that should be served always. And it feels like the entirety of the team, they're pumped up after that one clutch coming on down through from the side of Bondep. It's gonna be Tristan JN getting a couple of kills for themselves each. And with that, it's just a fast rush coming on down through from there and on down towards that C side first. Initial shots are going to be taken, so it's going to need to dip back out.
Spike
And that's a good
down,
engagement. He
attacker
didn't want to
spawn.
go in for that overcommit, and that's going to help him out. With Gaga getting one more kill for himself, the spike has not yet been picked up. They need to try and pick it up and then head on down over towards that C side. They need to try and gain a little bit of control to say the very least. But Triss, he doesn't know where to look, and Gaga doesn't know that Triss is right behind him. This could be an engagement that makes it or breaks it for the side of Reckoning, ladies and gentlemen. But Triss knows that he can't go in for this push because Gaga's just around the corner holding it. But with backup already coming on down through Cringy, and Gaga can easily go in for a trade kill here and possibly
I've got your
take down the
trail.
lurking killjoy. The shots are going to be going on down. And Triss is going to be going for one. Zoid on the back is going to be able to take down Wardem at the bare minimum. Gaga versus Triss, who's going to be winning this one out. It really does matter here, but they're just not going to be able to find it. It's pretty much done and dusted. Triss is going to be able to take down Gaga. Now Zoid all on his lonesome in a 1 versus 3. He's not going to be lit for long because Triss with the run and gun is just going to be a little bit too strong with that Spectre, ladies and gentlemen. 6 and 11 on the scorecards, and slowly but surely it's going in the favor of the side of the game.
Here. Here.
Going in the side of Reckoning, 2 rounds on a shot. This is actually the first time Reckoning have 2 rounds on a shot aggressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they have struggled all this while, but I hope finally things are working out for them. Of course, Haven is an attacking side of the map. They are supposed to win rounds in their attacking half. Let's actually find out if Sus Squad can put an end to this. Of course, the defensive setup is similar, but it's actually surprising they've completely given out the A side. There's only 1 jet available, 1 straight jet in Heaven.
You
That's
should run.
practically it. Lockdown comes through, but I don't think it's going to hurt a lot of people. There are 2 players on the back lines. That's something which I'm actually worried for. There's Zoid. There's also the Cypher as well. Q breaks completely
Oh, that was close. That was so close, but Kubrick's with a vandal. You should never spam through a smoke like that. He pays the ultimate price for it with his own life. Because he overstayed his welcome. That's gonna hurt a little bit. Jade's gonna miss the first initial shot, but it's completely fine. He does get a kill down over towards the side of Zoid before he does get traded out by Gaga. No harm, no foul. Botnev's gonna be able to get 1 more kill for himself. Take the entirety of the backup side for himself and also start pushing off down over towards the side of Heaven. Trinity does go in for that first initial tap. Gonna deal a little bit of damage, but it's just not gonna be enough. Jane swings around the corner, does get 1 kill. Gonna be able to finish up Gaga as well. With that, 7-11 on the scorecards and a possible comeback on the table here, Salty. Because I think that a fire has been lit under them and they're cooking up something real good for us to see.
Yeah, I feel like it might just be the case. Of course, getting 3 back-to-back rounds is going to hurt the economy. So I would just assume that they automatically have a 4th as well. And considering an 8-11 scoreline, I think Reckoning are back in control. Of course, they really need to get 4 more rounds to equalize things up. They are still trailing by 4 rounds. So that's not going to be easy by any stretch of the means. But just looking at the way most of these players have tried to push up, it's actually pretty dangerous. Now, Sus Squad, they've been struggling to actually keep a tab on what Reckoning have been doing. Their pushes have been good. Gaga gets 1 frag at the very least. I guess if they can get even 1 more, their mission would be accomplished. And yes, AZ, he does get that. He retrieves the Spectre for himself as well. So that's an added bonus. I wonder if he can get a
no,
kill with
that's her. That's kind of sad, man. He was like, yeah, it's not gonna see me. That recon bolt's not gonna see me. Swings around the corner. Cringy's gonna be able to get that kill based upon the information that he gathered. But at the same time, I don't like the odds here for the side of Sus Squad. Maybe they could have pulled it up, but at the same time, they got 2 guns for themselves. They can easily go in for that save if they want to. And the save wouldn't really be a bad idea. They have the guns. They can easily go in for this engagement and also deny a lot of the ultimate points coming out down from their teammate opposition. But at the same time, the shots are going to be going for 1. But Juven, my heart, thank God you didn't miss that shot. Because if you whipped 1 bullet, Cringy would have just tapped you in the door. His crosshair was right on your head. And if Juven was not able to get that headshot, it was already over.
Love the fact that I actually love the fact that Sus Squad, the last 2 players, they were just jogging across and just pressing mouse 1. I mean, it kind of makes sense because AZ was very low in HP and Cringy just wanted to play on the back of him. He just wanted to use him as bait, and that did work to get 1 frag. to get the trade. That's about it. Kubricks has the open hand. To fire away this tiger that buys them some sort of time, but
A wolf.
I call it a dog.
Call it a wolf, call it a dog, call it doggy style. I don't care, but it's a wolf.
Alright, I didn't hear that. Nonetheless, cringy in this position. Also thinking that our commentary might get a little cringy as well, but doesn't really matter. We're having fun. 5v5
Yes.
still now, ladies and gentlemen. But the C side has been left completely open. Panzer might actually make something happen from this. There's no defense whatsoever. Look at the amount of time that they are buying. It's already
This is good.
50 plus second on the clock right now. There's no real estate whatsoever. I love the fact that they're trying to take as much intel as they possibly can. They have some sort of information that the C side is a little open. The op definitely sinks through, but I guess this is a bait. They want to draw reinforcements,
I don't like
30
this.
seconds
and that
left.
exactly is what is happening. The A side does have the Cypher defense,
Oh,
and now
beautiful
the
twist.
B side is completely wide open. The flash comes through. AZ wants to wide swing, but will he be given the space? That's the question. The spike is still
Oh,
not yet
the
down.
Odin?
The Odin has been taken down. Yuvin! Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff from Reckoning. Kubricks has been made completely useless with the 10 HP player.
Honestly, the entirety of Sus squad, it feels like their mojo has finally been broken. The defensive hold is not as strong as their attacking side, seemingly. The defense really does rely on them not really playing based upon map control. They like to slow things down a little bit too much, and they're not really pushing their advantages to try and take a little bit of map control away from their opposition, and that's why it's hurting them a lot here. They need to try and go in for pushes. If your opponent is playing as slow, you need to try and push up and try and take multiple different avenues for yourself. Kubricks is going to be able to save that operator, and also down towards the back end, AZ is going to be able to hold down strong as well. I think I spoke a little bit too little too soon. Bondip is like, what do you mean an operator? Saving an operator? Do you think that's ever going to happen on my watch? And also saving a vandal? Heh, if you can't save an operator, how are you going to save a vandal in this process? Just putting the final nail on the coffin, ladies and gentlemen, for the side of Sus Squad. And here at this stage, they haven't won a single round after they hit the 11th margin here, Salty. And I do believe that now it's a do or die. If they're not able to find something out here with this force buy, they're forced onto another eco, and they don't want to go into this other eco because at that point, it's 10 and 11, and it's pretty much an 11 and 11 if you're not able to win out on that eco. Pretty much done and dusted, and you don't want to see that even Steven scoreline, especially when you are at the lead so heavily at the start.
Little tough times for Sus Squad, especially after that performance, especially after that first half performance. We really had that expectations high, but Reckoning Esports, they were always supposed to win this. Now Zoid has so much control on the A corridor. He has pushed up so much, and if he finds a frag on the Sova, it would be really,
I've got
really
your
big.
trail. Pulling them in.
Of course, the C hit is there.
Oh, no.
The one very well that pulls in Panzer to the darkness of hell, and his frag has been taken in, confirmed. JN actually finds his way towards the back of site in B. Now this can be disastrous. They want to get control over Garage as well, but that's something which has been completely disallowed. But JN, he can be destructive. The retake doesn't really come in as of yet. The Hunter's Fury comes in. Doesn't connect
Doesn't
the
hit.
falls. But Zoid with it running back. Can he get one frag? Not really. Has been completely denied, you know.
Yeah, the denies are going to be good
Here.
from their end, but they're getting cancer from multiple different angles. The sidelines are just not going to be clear, but at the same time, Bond is getting good for one. Jane needs to try and go in for this kill, but Trist with the nano throws going to go take down one more. Bond with a triple kill, and GN gets the last one for himself as well. 10 and 11 on the scorecards, and the entire scoreboard just got filled with red. The kill feed was so quick that even our observer was confused of who to observe at that stage. Everyone died in a matter of seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the systematic dismantlation of the side of Reckoning. This is the Reckoning that we were expecting right off the get-go. They had a little bit of a slow start, but finally they're back. And after a lot of pauses, they're able to fix their mojo. They're able to understand how Squad are trying to employ a lot of their different strategies. But at the same time, what is exactly wrong with the strategy here, you could ask? One of the biggest mistakes that they are doing is they're not playing for map control. They're not pushing themselves down forward on towards the side of mid, on towards the side of C long. use the information that they do have on their arsenal to try and go in for the pushes. But the thing is, they're getting corralled into a literal corner, and the fact of them not having any form of map control is just hurting them over and over again. With another 11-11 scoreline on the cards here, last person remaining is going to be AEZ. Maybe going in for a couple of exit frags, but even that is going to be super difficult with just sharing it.
Okay, all right. He's gonna take that, I guess. Any kill at this point is gonna be a massive bonus for the side of Team Sus Squad right now. And Trist is already in the backlines. I guess he's gonna find AZ. But I mean, I actually like the fact that Reckoning, they have fixed upon their mistakes. And it hasn't really been that much time. We talked about it, right? They were trying to execute those vanilla pushes into side. I still remember them. There was a guy in the B side. There was one defender in the back of side from the side of Sus Squad. And Reckoning Esports, they don't really check all the angles. They don't really use the utility all that much and just try and brute force their way into side. And I believe it was Zoid who just sprayed down 3 people just like it was nothing. Now, you try and do that, you will get absolutely butchered. But think about this right now, right? Reckoning, they've completely shifted their tactics. They're playing for time right now. They're playing very patiently for information. They're splitting themselves up all that much. Beautiful use of the Tiger, beautiful use of Op as well. That's a man advantage established, and now they use a lockdown. They get so much information to work with, but I guess finally they're gonna get some sort of map control. Look at this though, Sus Squad, they have been completely pushed out. They've been completely pushed out of sight in this retake. It looks very, very difficult right now. They do have one ultimate in the form of a neural death, but one by one, these players are being torn apart.
Yeah, at this point, it's just about cleanup duty. Gaga's going to be able to get that kill down onto a lurking Trist, but how much is the skill even going to help you? Because now, it's time for the Seekers to seek out their opposition, and with that, it's just going to be a safe call. There is no way they're going to be able to try and take away this round. At the bare minimum, they could try and play for a possible overtime at the bare minimum, but at the same time, considering their money, even if they go in for a save here, 3 people have the buys, but they need to be super careful because they're low, and the entirety of Reckoning, they're going to hunt them down. There's no way they're going to be allowing them to go in for the save, because if they do get a save, they have proper buys. They can still go in for the fight. Shotgun's going to be raiding on down it. In a corner is going to be good for 1 kill. One more gun has to take him on out, but the operator is still in play, ladies and gentlemen. And with that operator still being present, Answer, he nearly got that kill, man. I'm pretty sure that Cringy just did a sigh of relief in the background.
True that, but Reckoning, I guess it's the first time in the game they get a lead, isn't it? Aggressive.
But honestly, it's not a bad thing, considering that it was a massive comeback story. I believe that Reckoning on that 4-8 scoreline nearly got demolished, but at the same time, that 4-8 wasn't really a bad start for them. I would say it was a pretty good position for them to understand their opposition and finally be able to take these engagements properly. But at the same time now, it's going to be an operator battle. Who's going to be winning it out? And it's going to be Kubrick's, because JN, he didn't hard swing the corner. He tried to soft walk it, and he paid the ultimate price for it with his slice.
Shadows traveling.
Absolutely. But look at this, the Reckoning, they're actually pretty keen on still hitting the A side. They are pushing forward slowly and steadily, and Zoid and others, they are starting to prepare this crossfire ready. Just an absolute antidote to this maneuver. Just waiting for information.
They're just trying to see what avenues they can go for, but with the Sky Flash now coming on down through, He wants to go in for that shot. He's just not gonna go to fight it, but oh my god, the cavalry's already in. Paz is gonna be able to take down Cringy, and Triss just swings around the corner and he's like, oh hello there, do you have an operator? I have a pocket operator that's named a Phantom that's only cost 2,900 and it only deals 140 to the head, but don't really worry about it. That's all that I need to try and take you out. A little bit of a sad story coming on down through from the side of Kubrick. He's just not able to shut everyone down at the bare minimum, but still is beating it very much possible. But Panzer, he's gonna put a damper on those plans. He's gonna be good for one, but he's not gonna be good for two here. Now it's all just up to Bond. If he does get flashed on out, so he's gonna be able to get that kill. It is a 2 versus 2 situation, but the 100 Spear is still available, ladies and gentlemen, coming on down through from there. And there's so much post plan happening already. There's pretty much nothing they need to worry about. Dude's gonna be able to get a kill down onto AEZ. They just have to worry about Soy, but there's no time remaining. What do you do? 100 Spear gets lost, swinging around the corner. It's gonna be Triss being able to get the final slap with a couple of bullets riddling the body of Zoid. Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be the side of Reckoning going in for an incredible comeback from literally the brink of absolutely nothing. We thought that Reckoning was gonna lose here. It was gonna be the side of Sus Squad, being the sussy bakas that they are, being able to bring it all back in their favor. But right at the very end, what just went wrong? They just fell apart because of the amount of pressure coming on down through from the side of Reckoning. But,
Absolutely.
yeah, what just happened here, Salty?
I mean, honestly, aggressive at this point. I guess I've been conditioned to watching all these comebacks or watching all these close affairs. And right now I'm like, oh,
It's your
all
fault,
right, this is how
Salty.
this game is supposed to be played, I guess. Only I'm the one who gets hammered 13-0 every time. But nonetheless, a pretty close matchup right there. We'll have a look at the match highlights where we'll see what actually went wrong for the Sus Squad. Honestly, defensively, I didn't really see Sus Squad doing all that much. They were pretty good on the attacking half, I must say that. And even in the first few rounds of the defense, they looked composed. But once Reckoning tried and tested their patience, Sus Squad just started to fall apart. Right, they started to look like a house of cards, which would break down with just a single blow. And they didn't really look strong, right? You try and have a look at their crossfires, they were broken easily. You try and take a look at their defensive setup in terms of utility, there wasn't really a lot of that was happening. And it was all about one single maneuver from Reckoning Esports that it took to take away those rounds. Sure, there were trades, just like you always say, there were trades, they were getting the kills, but that like they were always playing catch up in most of their defensive half. That's what I would say.
Personally, in my eyes, the main thing that Reckoning was lacking when it came down to the defensive side was they didn't really show a lot of respect. What went wrong? Sus Squad, as a team, they were playing a lot more defensively. They were playing really slow, waiting for the side of Reckoning to make that first initial move. And the thing is, that was a really good move because how do you play Haven normally? You'd always try to play based upon map control. The more map control that you have on this map in particular, the better your team is going to perform, the better the chances are to try and go in for the win. And Sus was doing a really good job of counteracting it. They understood what avenues they need to take a fight in. They understood what positions that the side of Reckoning could play, and they were able to go in for those advantageous plays. But at the same time, what went wrong when it came down to the defensive side of Sus Squad? Sus Squad, they absolutely didn't play for a single bit of map control in any of the rounds. I understand you want to play it defensively, you want to show respect towards the side of Reckoning, but sometimes showing a little bit too much respect can cost you a lot. Reckoning in that previous set, in those previous rounds, when it came down to the nitty gritty, were not showing any forms of respect. They were constantly pushing on map control. It's about finding that fine balance, and the fine balance was just not there. But at the same time, that kind of was the same thing going wrong for the side of Sus Squad. They were a little bit too defensive. The side of Reckoning, they were a little bit too aggressive when it came down to the defensive side. And it feels as though both of these teams, when it considered the defensive end, they're a little bit too lackluster and a little bit too weak. And it was because of the more of an experience advantage coming on down through from the side of Reckoning that allowed them to take this a win away from the side of Sus Squad. Sus Squad, they had all of the advantages. They should have won everything out. But Salty, I believe that you're a massive curse. Consider what happened on the 4 p.m. games, dude. Like, on the 4 p.m. games, I honestly thought it was going to be FPS taking it all away. And then FS started going in for a comeback, nearly took down Valor, and then Valor just pulled a 180, and he's like, nope, we're not doing this. We're not going to let the salty curse end us. And I'm very sure that Sus Squad, they're going to be really salty about you, Salty.
Man, I can't really help about that, but for sure we can have a look at the scoreboard. And I mean, look at this though, the Cypher Chobs, 20 kills. It was really influential. But you look at Kubrick's, you look at Drake's, all of these players, they have impact frags. Everything was really working for Sus Squad until and unless Reckoning decided to shift gears, and it was JN who was doing most of the heavy lifting for the team. And honestly, the stats speak like, oh, it was all Jane, but not really. I mean, Bondef was doing his job, Panza was doing his job, Trist was
Yep.
doing his job, and even Yuven was doing his job as well. You look at the smokes coming through, you look at the amount of information coming through as well. You have map control, you have information, everything was just panning out perfectly. I was just surprised that Reckoning took so long to actually get back into the groove. Right, they didn't use the double initiative comp to perfection initially, but when they switched gears, it all came down to the wire. So I'm just happy that they are back in form and they are back kicking.
Yeah, honestly, Reckoning, they're back, they're ready, and they are tearing up the server piece by piece. And sadly, it was the side of Sus Squad who had to face their wrath because after such a humiliating defeat of the couple of rounds that they did face, I do believe that Reckoning, they're like that beast who has been angered, and there is nothing that you can do to try and stop them, especially when you consider map number 2 being their home ground. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you got to remember something. Sus Squad was the team who took on the map of Haven. They took on the challenge to face the Juggernauts on a map they are known to be really strong in, and they nearly pulled off the impossible, but it was such a crucial win for them. If they were able to take map number 1, I honestly believe that even if they lost out on map number 2, map number 3 split, where Sus Squad have proven to completely take down a lot of the other Juggernauts as well, could have been a map where they could have pulled off a miracle and possibly taking this win away from the side of Reckoning, but it's maybe just not going to happen. But ladies and gentlemen, we need to wait and see what exactly does go wrong or does go right for the side of Sus Squad as we do set up map number 2, and we'll be back with the real shortly with the LG Ultragear Tec Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant after a short break. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We took a short little break and we are already back on the cast, ladies and gentlemen, with the LG Ultragear TC Gauntlet Season 2, powered by W Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. I got myself a can of Red Bull. I'm really energized, and I'm pretty sure that the players have gotten one as well. So if you want to get one for yourself, scan that QR code. It's right there, and you gotta get yourself that can. A lot of different flavors coming on down through from the side of Red Bull, ladies and gentlemen. So get yourself that can, get yourself energized, and get yourself strapped up in your seat, because as we head on down over towards the map of Bind here, Salty, I believe that Sus Squad, they could just be in the deep end, literally.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for them to hold back Reckoning in the map of Pine. I just thought that they would clinch that map of Haven. They played exceptionally well, aggressive. You gotta admit it. I feel like the first half of the game they were scintillating, but then Reckoning just shift gears and they come back in form, and they were like, no, 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 no. This is not happening. This is
Yeah, I
our
gotta
home.
slow it down a little bit, man.
Yeah, you gotta chill. You gotta take a chill pill and take a back seat
Hold my Red
because this is
Bull.
our turf. But I mean, next up it's gonna be Bind. It's Reckoning's hunting grounds right now. It's good. I wouldn't say it's gonna be a walk in the park for them, because Sasquatch, they have their own sets of unorthodox playing styles. I love the fact that they try and slow things down as much as they can in in their attacking half, but they start on defense, and I feel like that's gonna hurt them. If Reckoning already build on that very aggressive attacking start, it's gonna hurt them quite a lot, and I don't think they'll be able to come back.
Yeah, they really do need to showcase the best of their abilities here. Otherwise, it's just not going to be that good, especially when you consider the map of Bind, a map where snowballing could just be a massive problem when you consider a lot of the avenues that these teams can cover. But at the same time, Sus Squad and their team composition is something that I don't personally like here, Salty. I understand what they're trying to employ. They want to go in for a little bit more comfort in comparison to meta, but at the same time, you need to play a little bit of meta at the bare minimum if you want to try and hold down a lot of these different avenues. And when you consider Susquad going in for a Phoenix on the map of Bind, it's a little bit questionable.
Yeah, and also the Omen, right? I mean,
Yeah.
generally it has always been more of a Brimstone and Astra kind of a map, but then an Omen,
Or
I'm
even a
not really
Viper.
sure. Or even a Viper, exactly. Now,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be surprised if there would have been a double controller setup, because in
Yep.
Bind, I feel like a double controller setup works really well, or even probably a double initiative setup. A lot of teams have actually employed both of them, a double initiative as well as a double controller setup, and completely dishing the Sentinel in this map. But nonetheless, both the teams have more of an equal footing in this one. It's just the difference in the duelist and the controller that sets them apart. Also, a Cypher for occasion, and that's basically it. But ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the game once again. It's gonna be the Sus squad who are on defense and Reckoning on attack.
But the thing is, how are they going to try to go in for this engagement here? Are they going to take it slow? Are they going to take it fast? It really does depend on the way a lot of these teams are going to try and employ to try and take these fights against one another. They're playing it slow, they're playing it smartly. But at the same time, a little bit too much of aggression could just cost them a lot here. This double stack on towards the side of Hookah! It's just gonna be the downfall of one of the members of the side of Reckoning, but at the same time, it's gonna JN on the other end, being able to take out AEZ, and with the avenues open down towards that A side, so eventually they can make that push happen. Cringy's gonna be able to go in for that kill on towards Panzer, who tried to go in for an aggressive kill, a push, and he does pay the ultimate price for it. A little bit of a trouble coming on down through from the side of Juvit, who tried to go in for a bad versus bot fight, but in this
30
case, the
seconds
bot
left.
caused him to get killed in the process. And Gaga, he has Jade phone number. He heard the ringtone, I do believe, but it's just not gonna go and finish him off just yet.
Yeah, pretty much. JN.
Oh no, JN.
He's gonna face. Wait. They're actually trying to
Last
knife
player
this guy.
standing.
Okay.
What?
That's disrespectful.
Wait, Trist actually got the kill on Gaga. Wait a minute, this is very much possible.
Placing swarm grenade.
7
Traced.
bullets.
Yeah, for sure, 7 bullets. Anybody coming in through lamps, it can be bad, but Cringy is gonna find the kill on the Trist, and that's how the first round is gonna go in the hands of Sus Squad. Love that absolute hookah control right there, right? It gives them so much real estate to work with. Like, a default setup is generally like near tube, but then when you try and push up near hookah, it gives you that added comfort, right? You absolutely deny any sort of vision. You absolutely deny any sort of map control to the attacking team. For sure, you kind of trade off control from B long, but that's okay because you can always revert back. Now, this does come with a con. Of course, you are giving them a little bit of side control to get some real estate control, but I feel like that's fine. I feel like Sus Squad played it to perfection with their flashes and with their boom bot combination.
They're playing their cards properly here, but at the same time, they need to be a little bit more proficient because it's just a piss round. I wouldn't really say the piss round matters a lot here because it is a round that you kind of can throw away, but at the same time, if you're able to win it, that's good because you're trying to
net
test out
practice.
your opposition. What?
It's net practice.
Yes. Okay, that's actually a good idea to say the very least, but at the same time, Gaga, I don't think pushing like that is going to be a good idea. JN?
Spike
Same
down.
thing.
A.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, okay. A crispy fried Trist in the background is kind of good. He's gonna be the side dish here.
Okay, side dish. Alright. Alright, there are a lot of puns in here. He bans up, bites the dust, you win all by himself. 4 Spectres staring at him, an easy frag for this guy. Lovely stuff from Sus Squad right at the start of it, but kind of reminds me of last map, and I really don't want to predict anything early on. But yeah, for sure a good start to this game of Vine. For sure from the side of Sus Squad.
Yeah, normally I'm the type of person, you know for a fact that I always love to put you guys through a little bit of a prediction game right at the very start, but I didn't go for it this time around because I knew for a fact that this match is going to be an interesting one to say the very least because Sus Squad, they have been improving a lot throughout the entire gauntlet. And you can see a lot of their improvements here, but they need to try and improve at a pace where they know for a fact they can do something with a lot of the plays that they're trying to make. Because, yes, they got the pistol round, they got the anti-eco, but it was decently expensive when you consider a lot of their members did die out in the process, but at the same time, Fringy with the judge. Yeah, I think that he's trying to trigger Bondef to the point of no return. Goodbye, Bondef. We missed you, my man.
Absolutely. The daggers are available. Zoid is gonna find easy kill. Oh, it was actually Gaga. Nobody checks his position. That's actually pretty weird. Sus squad. They have so much control right now. Two players completely stranded in the B-long area. There's one Omen who is wrapping around AEZ, but I think it's gonna be pretty long before he actually finds the opposition. But Juven, what can they possibly do right now? They are pinched. They might actually try and hit the A site. They also have the time to actually do so, but considering AEZ's position, I'm not really sure if they'll be safe throughout this journey. Look at this. He knows exactly where they're going to come from. They didn't even need the teleporter,
30
so they
seconds
have
left.
to come in from mid. As soon as they try and cross, spray's going to come through, and I just hope that the spray connects.
They check him, but at the same time, the better weapon. Not the better weapon.
At least it dinged him, right? And now they don't really have a lot of time to work with. A 3v2 with the Sova dinged so
Spike
high.
planted.
It's going to be pretty difficult. And the Phoenix also has to run it back, so they can actually work this full buy round. And
One
they can
enemy remaining.
Kubricks. He might actually get barbecued right there. Panzer also taking a lot of damage to the woodwork. So 1v2 can be a little problematic. Panzer still trying to play across lamps. 2v1.
Maybe. Gonna be able to get this, goes in for that swing. The taps are gonna be coming on down. It should be good for one kill, but Zoid was just a little bit too quick for Panzer in this situation. Swings around the corner, spots out his head, goes in for that flick, and ends his misery. With that, 3-0 on the scorecard, ladies and gentlemen, and it's gonna be a good start to say the very least, and it's kind of giving me deja vu of what really happened on map number 1. And I don't really want that to happen on map number 2 as well, because I already had my feelings toyed with. I honestly thought Sus Squad are going to be the ones to win everything out. But at the same time, like, honestly, Sus Squad, you're playing with my feelings more than my ex-girlfriend, and I don't like that.
Playing with your feelings, huh?
Just like you play with my feelings, Salty. That's just sad.
It feels like you're prioritizing Sus Squad more than me, but I guess I'll
Okay. Then we didn't go that far.
Nonetheless, I don't want to cringe the audience right now. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about how the drone actually broke the tripwire over there. But Jayen is still stranded. It's going to be a little hard for them to actually break this defense. Once they goes down, there's the trade. And finally, Reckoning who have some sort of control. But look at AZ. Casually tapping all these players. He gets a third. Ooh, but word, that was quick.
There's a reason why his name is AEZ. A and easy. Everyone who goes on that A side, it's just easy pickings for him. Just taps beautifully.
Did you make it up right now?
I think I used this before, but I don't even remember. But I think I did make it up right now. I did just make it up.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna throw myself into the deep end. Alright, audience, take me away. Say it. Endcasters, printcasters, I'm just ready.
Alright, nonetheless, I guess we've been doing a good job, and I guess the audience is enjoying. But nonetheless, 4-0 the scoreline. I'm pretty sure it's Sus Squad who are enjoying themselves right now against Reckoning. But, well, then again, we have just seen a game where, they had the lead. They had everything running for themselves, and then Reckoning just decided to shift gears, right? So anything can happen. Reckoning once again trying to huddle up outside the A short region. They're sending the drone.
Beautiful.
Breaks in the tripwire as well. They try and brute force their way in. The paranoia comes through. Doesn't really blind a lot of these players. Now the lockdown comes through as well.
That's
finally,
a very aggressive lockdown.
Exactly. Finally, they're going to get some sort of real estate, and Gaga has been completely got stranded. 2 players in showers. It's going to be a bit tough, but I guess Panzer is in prime position to completely shut them down. But no! Gaga actually finds a player in the back lines. This is good stuff from them, Universe. Again, Universe. Aggressive. Sorry for that.
No,
Sorry.
I am the Universe. The aggressive Universe is better than Universe himself. a very important factor. But at the same time, I do believe that this kill coming on down through from the side, Bondev is just gonna be as important. 2 kills coming on down through from Bondev. He's gonna be able to take down multiple, and that's just gonna be the crucial kills that he really did need. And the hook on the Lamb's control, sorry, is just gonna be a little too potent. One side it's gonna be Cringy, and on the other end it's gonna be Zoid. They're trying to go in for this push together of a comical moment. And I'm very sure that Bondev, he just caught out the satchel. The satchel catch was absolutely clean. But at the same time, Zoid, he's just gonna be good for 1 kill, but he's just not gonna be good for a second. But honestly speaking, I kinda like that. One race to another. Hold my satchel. Normally, you try to hold the beer, or maybe you'll try to hold the Red Bull. Make sure to scan the QR code, ladies and gentlemen. But in this case, Bondev and Cringy, they're like, you hold my satchel, I'll hold yours. But in this case, Bondev, yeah, he got the bad end of the satchel. To say the least.
His satchel literally stuck on the other race. I was like, oh, okay, this is nice. But yeah, the first round for Reckoning. But it was a pretty expensive one, aggressive. Just think about it. They had to invest a lockdown. They had to risk a lot to get this round in their bag. And I'm not really sure if they will get a lot of these chances, a lot of opportunities this way. The Pain Shield comes through, tries to shake up the defense a little bit. And here comes the reverse satchel. Cringy, still in position. Another one. The Molly comes through as well. And Cringy has been completely forced out. He won't take this duel, does he? Jay in incomplete side, and they have been completely forced. They have been locked away. Look at this, though. The showstopper comes in. Does actually really get a kill? Not really.
And at this point, they're just going to be taking things just a little bit slower, to say the very least. But at the same time, things are not done just yet. Cringy, he does have the magic number of health on his favor. That magic number should be able to get him something with that judge, but at the same time, that judge needs to find dividends here. If that judge is not able to find a lot of value, things will go horribly wrong for them. But with the orbital strike, delaying the push even further, this retake needs to go down almost immediately. They're running out of time, and you can see the desperation in their eyes as well. This is going to be good for 2 kills. Juban's going to be the one to take down Gaga as well. Poor old AEZ, all on his lonesome to try and shut something down, maybe get something for his own team. He's just not going to be able to find it. Instead, it's going to be Bondev being able to take down AEZ. 4-2 on the scorecards, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see the desperation in the eyes of Sus Squad. They just wanted to go in for that fight because the clock was just ticking on down. But right at the very end, it was the clock that worked against them. They needed to go in for this engagement a lot earlier, but Cringy, he just didn't have the gun to go in for that fight from the hookah angle.
4-2 the scoreline, and Reckoning finally find the footing in the map of buying.
Honestly, Cringy and his judge, oh my god.
It's actually difficult to hold this man back, honestly.
Careful now.
Well, he's known as Cringy for a reason. Oh no, Zoid. That's a sad story. Oh!
Satchel out.
I really don't know how is Zoid with so many crispy agents at this stage. Who's the actual side dish and who's the main dish?
Okay.
Cypher did his cat? What?
Yeah, he did. But in return, he actually got taken off. The neural theft did come through with 2 breaks. He actually finds Bondev in the final third of that Hunter's Fury. AEZ going for the defuse, but I guess he's gonna find it easy. Frag for him, but Kubrick's through the smoke, gets a third one. Hunter's Fury available for Juven. I guess he's gonna tag this over comfortably. He might even get the kill. Hopping around, Kubrick's barely surviving there. Will he be able to hold down? The shot that comes through doesn't damage. Ninja defuse. What an absolute genius, Kubrick's. Look at him surviving at 6 HP and Juven. He's being a fool over there, honestly. The Hunter's Fury, the Shock Dart, nothing really connecting. I guess he could have simply gotten for a gun duel over there, but nonetheless. 5th round on board for Sus Squad. I actually like this.
Yeah, he kind of messed up that shock dart just a little bit. Normally, you want that shock dart to hit on top of the tube, top of the metal tube, so that you can exactly hit the plant spot. Not directly, but at the bare minimum, you can hit it indirectly and get at least like about 50 damage. I do believe. I'm not really a silver main. I'm more of a jet main and raise main, so I do believe it's around 50 damage from the last time I did see the calculations. So it did hurt. Juven made that one small mistake and it pretty much cost him and everything. But at this time, yeah, Cringy, he's just soft, man. You can't do this to these people. They have families. Cringy, come on, man. There are limits to using the judge. And there's limits to abusing people. Thank you, Tris. Thank you. I want to give you a medal just for killing.
Yeah, Lockdown comes in from the attacking side. Q breaks through the wall. Doesn't really get a lot of shots, but at least he tags him a little bit.
One person's gonna get caught.
Yeah, AZ is gonna get detained, but that doesn't really. It won't hurt him because at least he has teammates by his side, right? Tris, if he tries to go for the kill, it can be a bit problematic.
Oh no, I think that Tris is probably gonna be good for one. Tris misses out on that shot. That's gonna hurt a little bit, and yeah, that's gonna hurt a lot because that one kill was just so crucial. But at the same time, Ruben, he's still alive. He gets 2, but he's just not gonna be the one to finish everything off. Good try coming on down from Juven at the bare minimum. 5 and 2 to a 6 and 2, ladies and gentlemen. And honestly, Salty, this is literally a repeat of map number 1. That one small whiff though coming on down through from Triss kind of costing them the entire round. He just needed 1 kill, man. If he just got that 1 kill, this was a round that was gonna be a winning round for the side of Red Bull.
I need this.
At least 6-2 was the scoreline then as well. Yes, I guess it was 6-2 as well. So
yes, it was.
Nothing to worry about for Reckoning, honestly, considering the track record. But I mean, you don't want to go that route, right? As long as you can keep it clean, why do you want to go that route? They invest in the lockdown, they invest in so much, but still they don't really get that round. And honestly, the problem has been that unorthodox playing style that the knife completely misses. But with a classic weight, what is happening? Oh my god, Juven just putting an end to cringy's cringy. But
yes,
I'm not really sure what just happened. The knives missed, the Cypher missed his shots, the Jet got a kill with the classic. It's all really weird. Nobody's checking AZ as well. Bondev thankfully gets the kill onto the AZ, but where was the Sova looking at 2v3 right now? Zoid very paranoid of the turret, but
last player standing.
all right.
Give them a taste of their own medicine, Panzer. Do it.
A judge frag fest, ladies and gentlemen. This is a judge frag fest.
Honestly, the judge is one of those things that you kinda believe to be one of those weapons that should not be in the game, but at the same time, honestly, Salty, tell me one thing. I don't personally hate the players, but I hate the judge a lot. So if you're playing the judge, it's not me hating you. It's just hating on the judge, and you're just at the crossfire.
Probably you'd never want to play me because that's my favorite weapon. That speaks volumes, right? I want those. I don't know, like a judge player looks you in the eye and he will like, you wanna hate me? For sure, go for it. I don't mind. I'm gonna be the bad boy. I'm gonna be the villain in your stories.
Hey, you do look like a bad boy, so.
Oh yeah, I do.
Benefits.
Look at the shorty though. Like the shorty is a cuter version of the judge. Not as lethal, but it still kind of works.
Yeah, it works. But when you do get killed by a shorty though, no, it's Judge Pro Max. Done. And the Bucky is like that older cousin.
Okay.
No, it's like that middle child that no one likes.
Enemy remaining.
Okay, alright. I get you. Here comes a Bucky. Cringy gets 1, but Trace finally lands a shot. 6 for the scoreline. Feels like Reckoning is finally getting back in the groove. And I really want them to get back in the groove, honestly, because honestly, speaking aggressive, I've seen a lot of these teams, and most of the league stages, sometimes the underdogs teams start very good, but then when it comes to the fag end of the league, when it actually comes to playoff qualification, they kind of tend to lose the heat as well. So it really becomes important at what time do you peak, right? And I really don't want Reckoning to lose their shine. I really don't want Team Valor to lose their shine as well, because they prove to be top competition for the top tier teams right now, and we thought that, all right, these are the teams who have really improved and they can really prove to be tier 1 teams at this point. So if Reckoning give away so many rounds to Sus Squad, it really is going to hurt me. But I'm also happy for the fact that Sus Squad is also playing well. Nonetheless, 6-4 the scoreline, and of course we can definitely see that Reckoning, they have some sort of a map control in the B long area, but they have been able to barge their way into sight. A 3v5 can be pretty difficult, but then it can be pretty messy as well. They do have the Hunter's Fury available as well as the Orbital Strike. They can clear out few areas, but here comes the Jet. Zoid is just prepared. Jane destroys him. The showstopper. Brilliant. Kenji gets one. The Jet is available as well. He's gonna get the second one as
enemy
well.
remaining.
Beautiful stuff.
Kill him.
Bricks with his spray. Gets
down.
2 of his own aggressive.
And now poor old Juven versus the entire world. They don't know his position though. They still think that he's
30
on the long
seconds
spot. And I don't think they expected if Juven is able to get the perfect crosshair discipline play coming on down 2, he should be able to take out multiple spots out. One of the players he's gonna be able to take out 2. And now it's gonna be Kubrick versus Juven on the sidelines. He misses on the next shot, but it's
Out
fine.
of charges.
Juven,
Standing
he
ahead.
has it all under control. He likes to give us a little bit of a heart
Last
attack
round
because he hates
before
the
the switch.
casters, but it's completely fine. You can hate us as much as you want. Just as long as you win out the round, it's all fine in that.
6-5 the scoreline, almost on the way to equalizing. And Reckoning Esports, if they even things out in the first half, I really don't think that there's enough chance for the Sus Squad to actually make a comeback. I definitely want them to, but this can be a pretty expensive round aggressive. Look at this, there are 5 ultimates available in total. The Jet has already deployed its ultimate now. I want to see the Storm Blades in action, but I also want to see the Orbital Strike as well as the run back. 2 Hunter's Fury in total. 1 tag. And I guess, yes, here comes the Hunter's Fury, but Zoid dancing around the
poor
pitch. He gets
Zoid!
tagged.
No charges left.
Cringy gets a kill with the judge, man. Don't worry about it. Cringy's just a better raise at this point. And he just gets taken out in the process because of the judge. It's completely fine. Don't really worry about that. And I think that poor old Bondef, he's just constantly challenging the hookah angle just to show to Cringy that he can still get a lot
Wow.
of kills with the Phantom in hand. But yeah,
Did
Cringy
he-
with that judge is just too good.
They take the teleporters and then come back to B again. Now, this is sort of a good move, honestly, because you see the Sova, yes, he's shuttling between B and A because he has been left wondering where this side is going to head, where this team is going to head, but 2 frags coming in
30
through for
seconds
Sus
left.
Squad. And here comes the Orbital Strike. Cringy will be forced back, and look at this. Beautiful, beautiful combination of utility as well as gunplay. Gaga versus Yubin. It's going to be an important duel in hookah as well. Panza quite
One
low on
enemy
HP to work
remaining.
with, not a lot of time to plant the spike, but that's his only defense right there. Sus Squad, they have that safety net to work with. They get the 7th round on board and prevent
Switching
Reckoning
sides.
from equalizing things up. I guess they really value this round because this can mean that they might get this map.
Yeah, at this point, this map is going to be the do or die for them. But at the same time, I would honestly say the 7-5 scoreline is actually a really good scoreline, especially when you consider the composition that the side of Team Reckoning are actually running. Reckoning Esports, they have a really good comp when it comes down to the defensive hold because that Brimstone allows you to be a lot more defensive instead of relying on pure and utter aggression and off angles. He allows you to be a lot more, let's say, dynamic on the defensive side, while Omen allows you to be a lot more aggressive and a lot more dynamic at the same time when it comes down to aggression only, but not when it comes down to defense. And now, with the out point now being taken control of by the side of Reckoning, they are purely playing on the basis of map control. A couple of shots are being missed from the side of Bondev, though. He's just not going to be able to find it. Twist also misses a couple. He's going to be able to tag down one of the players
This is
really
weird.
low, but Kubrick.
This is absolutely weird. And
It's a little bit of a whiff battle, man. It does happen. But at the same time, hey, they dealt the damage, and it's up to the teammates to try and, finish off those 2 players.
yeah, Gaga right at the face of Panza. One right click
Good one.
can be deadly.
Smoke.
Jane getting that frag on Kubrick's. The spike goes down. Gaga gets a frag as well. Reckoning slowly inching back, but it's good. I guess it's a little too late at this point. 2v4. The Omen is late. Effectively a 3v3. Effectively a 2v3 partner for that. But Cringy and Zoid getting this crossfire ready. There's also Omen and Cypher in here. Now it's going to be a little too difficult 1-for-1 trade, and one so far remaining. Yuben tags one, but Cringy's going to find the final frag in Sus Squad. They're on a roll right now. 8th round already for them. Slowly building up that lead that they had. That was just lost to Reckoning, but they're reclaiming their throne.
At this point, how much more can you do here, Salty? That's going to be another round going in the favor of the side of Susquad. And the thing is that you can't really miss out on shots like that. I do believe that Bondef, he panicked a little bit, and so did Triss right at the very end. Triss was on his own, so he easily could have gotten those 2 kills, but the fact is, them missing that has costed them the entire thing here. It does happen though, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes the nerves are going to be getting to you. But at the same time, I think that it's Cringy with his judge got to Bondef a little bit too much. Whiffing out shots like that when you are Bondef, yeah, that's a little bit on now.
Drone finds out one player. Smoke blocks him off, but nobody has pushed any further. The spike is still in mid. AZ still trying to get control. And here comes Cringy.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
Nobody has checked him. Yuven might actually be in some trouble, but he finally gets back to safety. All of these guys in A side, they really want to come back for a second attempt at a retake, but I don't think it's practically possible. Of course, because of the weaponry advantage the attacking team does have. Triss does have this judge available with him, but I don't think he is, just like you mentioned, any comparison to what he has pulled off.
Cringy's like one with the judge, man. Cringy's living up to that name and actually playing the cringy judge to the best of its ability. So, in
Let's
a
not
way,
call it the cringy judge anymore because it's giving him kills. It's giving a lot of kills. So yeah, it's fine.
it's a
as long as-
cringy judge. Yeah, it's... Oh, finally he gets taken down. Thank you so much, Panzer. And Cringy, once again, man, it's nothing against you. It's just that you're holding the judge for way too long. And it's given me too much PTSD in my ranked games that it's actually costed me my Immortal 2 ranking as well. Because one player terrorized me with that judge and forced me to lose my Immortal 2 rank up game. And he kept on coming into my games every single time. It's either on my team or on the enemy team. And after that, yeah, I just hate my life. Literally. And I really hope it wasn't you, Cringy. I don't remember the name, but I really hope it wasn't you.
Immortal, huh? Have you ever been to Iron?
Hey, I hate Iron with a passion, personally, because Irons, first of all, they hold angles that you would never really predict. And they don't have an internal clock in their heads. They only have one clock. They understand. We push, we hold W, and if we see an enemy, we don't push at all, and we wait there for the rest of our lives, even if the spike is like 5 seconds away from blowing up. I played in Iron once, and honestly, Salty, I never want to go back there again. Ever. That place is harder than any Radiant Drag lobby you can. Trust
Get
me.
out of here.
Through that, Bondef getting Zoid. Reckoning you really need this, honestly, because they have been dying to get this man advantage established. Most of the time, it has been Cringy getting in those weird locations, right? He has been trying to pinch Hookah along with 2 of his friends from B-Long, and they have been successfully doing that for quite some time. Jane in a very precarious angle, but I don't think anybody's going to peek that. Sasquatch still trying to look for opportunities. No progression as of yet. 40 seconds on the clock only. And most of the A defense looks like a KJ setup, right?
30 seconds left.
One player in Lambs, and here comes Cringy, but it's
Better
Triss
judge.
who actually wins the duel. The satchel comes out as well. The Phantom is ready to spray down the cyber cage. Definitely locks vision.
Oh, no.
Q-Bricks with a classic wonderful stuff. Triss once again with a judge of third.
One enemy
Better
remaining.
judge player.
Beautiful and easy.
10 seconds left.
All alone. Finds himself in a lonely corner. Panzer's gonna take him to his grave, honestly. And 9-6 is scoreline. Reckoning. They can pull this back. I mean, I guess
Pull
it
up
was
the
an
judge,
11.
Triss. Do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
I mean, he can pull it off because 3
Yes.
kills. Yeah, he does. He absolutely does. kudos to him. But I also love the fact that Reckoning, they are really not stretching their legs a little too much. I'm pretty sure that they know that they can still win this back. They can still establish their lead. But if they wait too much, if they try and chill a little too much, I don't think they will be very comfortable in this game. And that's what I'm actually looking out for. For Sus Squad, I mean, they've been pretty good, especially with Cringy, especially with Gaga. All of them have been getting frags, but now they're on the eco round. And honestly, it just goes to show that this can be a default 97. All that Reckoning would want to do is probably try and keep this late clean as much as possible, because you don't really want the economy to hurt an eco round.
Yeah, you just want to relax here. You don't want to push up overly aggressive, because an over-aggressive push, especially against these type of sheriffs, could just cost you your entire life if you're not really careful. Because you need to remember, the sheriff is the best weapon to take whenever you're holding down an angle, not when you are trying to swing at full speed, because that's when it's just a little bit too dangerous, and that's exactly what they are doing. The swings are going to be coming on down through, and they're just not going to be able to find it. Drist is going to be playing around with that judge. He's going to be good for one kill. He's looking for one more. Finally gets shut down. His reign of terror has been ended, ladies and gentlemen. But at the very end, it's going to be JN getting the final kill, being able to put the final nail on the coffin for this round in particular, sending it down over to a 9-7 scoreline. But at the same time, when you consider all of the avenues that they're trying to explore, all the ways that they're trying to go in for these type of different engagements here, Salty, the biggest question that I have is, what is the game plan coming on down through on this spy route? Are they going to move on down and try to go in for a fast rush over towards that B side? Are they going to play around the teleports? Are they going to establish B-long control and also a showers control and leave the entirety of the other sidelines open and try to, you know, brute force their way into a shower position and then try to go in for a plan there? Or are they going to go in for a full send rush over towards that B-long sideline? They're trying to go in for a plan just like that, but Zoid being on a lurk on a Phoenix, I don't know how much I like that, especially when you consider that he has a running back in his arsenal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the run back could actually be a very important utility for the team, especially the amount of space and kills that it can buy for you. But I guess they're going to regroup right now. They move away from the B-long corridor and start huddling up outside the A-shot area. Now, the drone does come through, and it's going to give away the sound cues that it might be an A-shot hit. But is there going to be a change in plans? Because it's still going to be 50 seconds on the clock. They might shift things up. Yeah, and yes, they do. Still waiting for players coming in through teleporters. But look at how composed Reckoning is. They don't move an inch, right? That can be a pro, that can be a con, but here comes the running back, and I'm waiting for this team to just brute force their way into sight right now. 20 seconds on the clock, not a lot of time for trades right now. They need to slam the spike quick. 1-for-1 trade.
Beautiful.
All these kills flying through. Panzer and Jane showing their mettle, and the attacking team really struggling. Reckoning once again established dominance. The Jet just
don't do it like that.
Style points for this man. Wow.
Jane's like that living, breathing Flash. Panzer's like, yo, can I get a Flash here? Oh, wait a second, we don't have a Flash here. Jane's like, don't worry, buddy, I got you covered. Literally updrafts up, jumps over his head, and Panzer's like, oh, that can work as well. Gaga's like, wait, what's happening? What's this gust of wind behind me? What is that flare in front of me? What do I do here?
It's an insect.
Yes, swatted with a bat.
Oh my god.
But yeah, the confusion factor was a little bit too much. So in a way, this round in particular was a really good hold coming on down through, ladies and gentlemen, from the side of Reckoning Esports, and were able to hold it down beautifully. They knew the avenues that they were trying to hold, but at the same time, a little bit too dangerous and a little bit too close for comfort. But at the same time, it's completely fine and that, because look at JN, and then look at Bondef. Triple kill, easily being able to finally shut down Cringy. He's able to do what he does best. He's going to be able to find out two more, though, from the side of Zoid. Speeding it with that Sheriff, but the army's already here, and it's time to just roll over and play dead, Zoid, because when you anger the gods, especially when you're coming on down through from the side of Reckoning Esports, you're going to need to face the Reckoning Super.
I'm not really sure the economy is going to be hurt with that. A little bit.
Not too
Yeah,
much
I mean,
though. They're more than happy when it comes down to the terms of that.
yeah, for sure, but it could have been better, right? That's what I'm saying. But nonetheless,
Yeah.
I guess both the teams are comfortable. Both the teams have full buys, but the sus squad, their backs are pinned against the walls right now because they don't really have too much room for comfort at this point. They had a considerable lead at the start, but they have lost it just like the map of Haven. Gaga versus Bondev. Early contact. Bondev wins it. Falls back to safety. Gets away with murder right there. Cringe is still trying to establish the... How did Jane miss
A little
this?
close.
Didn't really expect that, but Cringe is still yet to move in. They're yet to get Lamb's control. Here comes the Blaze Wall. And here comes a lockdown as well. It's Trist who tries to hold it down. There's too many players that he has to push back, but he successfully does that. Lockdown. Too strong for Sus Squad to actually explore, but still hovering outside the A shot. Do you think they're gonna move back in the A hit? 4 ultimates available though from the side of Reckoning Esports. It's a real stronghold for them.
Joke's
Yeah,
over.
considering the
You're
amount
dead.
of utility that they have on their side, especially with the running back now getting popped as well, things are just not going to be looking good up. One by one, they're just popping the ults and they're sending them back home almost immediately. But the big Cringy's in such a forward position. AZ's going to be good for 1 kill and they don't know where Cringy is. Cringy's going to be good for 1 kill. He does pull out the rocket on his own shoulder. He needs to try and take down one more player, but I'm pretty sure that the calls are already getting coming on down through. Trist is in a pretty bad spot. And he's going to be able to live. Good moves coming on down from his end, but with only 7 seconds left on the clock, they are going to be able to go in for that plant at the bare minimum, ladies and gentlemen. Panzer's not going to be able to deny the plant, so that's going to hurt them just a tiny little bit. But when you consider the HP, the entirety of Reckoning Esports, they're in such a bad shape. It's only Panzer who has the full, but he has no utility to work with, no smokes whatsoever. But when it comes to the terms of utility from the side of Team Sus Squad, they have a lot to work with. They even have a flash on their side. But who needs a flash when you have Tristan is beautiful aim?
Yeah, I mean, this man shines with a judge. This man shines with any weapon whatsoever. Panzer getting that final frag. He's gonna defuse the bomb as well. That basically means Reckoning Esports, they edge over the Sus Squad, and right now they're in the lead. This has happened time and time again. They play catching up throughout the game, but right at the fag end of the game, Reckoning Esports know exactly when to shift gears and exactly when to press their foot on the gas. And when they do so, they just absolutely tear down the opposition. How many rounds on a trot? 5 rounds on a trot for Reckoning.
Turret out.
They established their dominance, and little by little, they destroy the opposition's economy as well. They forced Gaga to be on Spectres and Cringy and Kubrick to be on Light Shields. One more round, that would basically be it.
They're playing it slow, they're playing it smart, to say the way it is. But let's see how they're going to be the ones to move things down the line here. But it's kind of like a Mexican standoff between these two teams. Initially, we always saw that the side of Reckoning, they played it overly aggressive. They didn't really slow down much. But now, they're just holding their hands above that trigger. They're slowly waiting to see what they can expect. Chien! Oh no! Oh god! He's gonna be able to survive. Thank god. Trist is there. Don't worry, my buddy. I got you. Jay's like, alright, you got me. I got you as well. Gets another kill on down towards the side of Zoid. The 11th round on the board here, Salty. I think it's gonna be showing up soon.
Yeah. This looks like an 11th round board, but it's not just an 11th. It's also match point effectively, because next round is going to be a hard eco. Hard eco for
Or a
Sus
force
Squad.
buy. It's a force buy actually, because it's 11th round.
30 seconds left.
Tough times. Staying silent. Staying patient as much as they can.
True silent
Easy
assassins.
and Cringy. What are they actually planning? They're trying to run down the clock as much as they possibly can. I mean,
They
I
need
think they're
these
looking
guns.
for. Yeah, exactly. They
10
want to
seconds
drop
left.
guns and they want to exit at this point. And they get one, please. Cringy. They don't really want to plant the spike at this point. They want to hurt the other's economy. 2 weapons dropped. Cringy wait for the third. He
Oh,
gets the
Cringy's
third.
too good,
Mission
man.
accomplished. Mission accomplished. Will he get the 4th? That's the question. Nah.
Yeah, at this stage, I think that that's a good amount of eco damage, but
Doesn't really
considering,
matter.
yeah, it doesn't really matter. That's what I was gonna ask you, Salty. Like, look at their economy, man. They have nothing to worry about. They're gonna be set for another 3 rounds if it even goes that far. They don't really care. But
Exactly.
at the same time, when you're
I
on
mean-
the side of the opposition, you have a couple of guns, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully they have some full shields, right? Because of the frags, I feel like they did get some amount of money. And it's a good tactic, honestly, because had they tried to go for a plant or had they tried to go for a clutch play, it was really unrealistic to expect a 2v5 clutch in the dire moments of that round. So that only makes sense. But considering what they did achieve in that round, it gives them that
Oh,
heavy
yeah.
shield comfort and also kind of brings down the opposition a little bit.
Oh, Cheyenne, he is just literally playing with fire! Korean jet
Okay.
style a little bit too much, Cheyenne! He's been watching a little bit too much of the Sealdon videos, I do believe. That hey, he just got a kill, so in a way, I think that watching those videos really did help him. But at the same time, you know, he was
exactly where you
a little bit too adventurous, to say the very least, because Cypher's gonna tip his hat, reveal everyone's position, like a true gentleman would, slowly but surely,
beacon
sipping
down.
on his English tea in the process. And now, it's just about cleanup duty. The entirety of Reckoning, they know what to expect, they know where all the members of the squad
Enemy
are.
remaining.
It's just about finish them off.
Spike
Panzer's gonna be able to
down
get 2 kills for himself. Last person remaining is gonna be Gaga, but Panzer has his phone number, calls him up, takes him back home, and sends him back into his grave as well,
Match
using a
point.
Reaver and Vandal in his hand.
Right here.
9 and 12 on the scorecards, ladies and gentlemen. And honestly, at this point, I think it's done and dusted. They don't
Yeah.
have any money to buy anything. A judge in the hand of Cringy could just be the deciding factor for all of this.
Max loss bonus for Team Sus Squad. I absolutely adore Cringy for what he accomplished in this map, but I feel like Reckoning looked so much better in the second half of the game. Look at Jane always pushing for map control, right? He gets those aggressive peaks with an op. Nobody would really expect this, right? He missed that first shot. This can be bad. A flash comes through. He didn't click the trigger at the right time. He could have got the kill, but no. Not really. Zoid gets that first shot. Gets that first man.
Joke's over.
Early
You're
man
dead.
advantage established. And here comes the running back, but thankfully Panzer finds the kill. Even Bondef gets Cringy with his pain shell. The 3v4 right now, it can be very difficult. Smokes deployed, Trist in position as well. No real weapons to work with, but it doesn't really matter because Cuban with a classic Gaga with the SMG. It's only Cuban who survives this onslaught. What the hell just happened? Sus Squad, they live to fight another day. And this can be a turning point for them. The dreams are still alive, the shock that comes through, but Cuban, can he clutch this out? Paranoia, the spray comes in. But a little too late. Or a little too early because Kubrick swings wide. He's gonna get the kill. 10 to 12 the scoreline, and this might actually stabilize the economy a little too much. I mean, a little, to be frank. The charge is still there. The heavy shields are still there. The op is there. And now they've got the heavy guns to work alongside.
Honestly, this was a little bit questionable, but at the same time, hey, sometimes the bum rush strategies actually work. You know, when strategy doesn't help
Caution
you
here.
out during a game, you're just like, do you want to YOLO it? Yeah, let's YOLO it. Then they were like, okay, we're just gonna go, whatever happens, happens, and they just went for it. And that's why I would say, whenever you are a person that has nothing to lose, sometimes that's when you're gonna be winning out on a lot. And now, them winning out on this round very decisively did give them a lot of guns to work with. Cringy, he still has a judge in his hand, and that judge can play a lot of dividends here if they do play their cards properly. And once again, this bomb rush down towards the B side is working out so beautifully in their favor. The ultimate has not gone down just yet. Easy. It's gonna take a little bit of chip damage, but it's gonna deny the plan for just a little while longer. The smokes have dissipated already, so basically this engagement can be done so beautifully as well. Operator versus operator. It is gonna be JN being the one to win out the first initial engagement. JN actually gets his second, and they're still swinging the corner. Now, it is entirely in the favor of the defenders, ladies and gentlemen. They see where the spike is at. The judge is gonna try and go in for one kill. It's just good for one. It's not gonna be good for two. Right at the very end with the clutches of defeat, ladies and gentlemen. It's just clean up beauty at this point. What do you do here? Not much. There is nothing that you can do. That just
Absolutely.
hurts, man. like honestly, I believe that this would have been a win coming on down through from the side of Sus Squad, but right at the very end, they just fell apart piece by piece. You don't need to swing that corner. You can easily pick up the spike and just plant it down safely. But instead, they try to go in for the fight. They paid for it with their own lives here.
Yeah, they do pay heavily, but I feel like Sasquatch they have impressed us all. We have a similar storyline, right? FS versus Team Valor, Sasquatch versus Reckoning. Both the underdog teams really impressing us. We'll have a look at the highlights and look at the impressive moments once again. But Cringy has been the player of the day for me. Never
Just
really
because he has
expect.
a judge.
I mean, not just because of the judge, for sure. I mean, that plays a part. I mean, never really did I expect to see a player hold a judge for so long in a professional match, but he did so, and not just effectively use it, but also terrorize the opposition the way he did. He even forced Triss to hold a judge of his own as well. So that's how much mentally you make the opposition struggle. So, and also the fact that he was just flying off the charts with his double satchels and he was getting those nutty shots connected. That's beautiful. Jane with his op has always been very clinical, but Cringy, I feel the amount of firepower and the amount of determination that he has shown to win rounds for his team, it's absolutely brilliant. And look at this point, Cringy. He was
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, take my satchel, and I'm gonna kill you with a dub." I mean, who kills an opponent raised with a satchel? That too, the satchel stuck in his chest.
that's just an insult to AJ, being like, I'm raised, you're raised. Who can do a better job? Okay, do you know back in rank game, someone is like, come on, do a jet diff, make it happen. And this is the pinnacle of a jet diff. You kill your opponent raised by throwing a satchel on towards them and it actually sticks to them and then you detonate it. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. That's like the definition of a raised diff that I've ever seen one. So hey,
Absolutely.
if it works, it works.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if it works, it definitely works, and that has been the name of the game. But I'm actually surprised that Reckoning saved all their strats, saved all their good plays for the fag end of both the maps. You look at both the maps, they're
Yep.
like in the first half, they're just chilling, and in the next half, they're the ones who are shifting gears. We'll have a look at the scoreboard now, ladies and gentlemen. Reckoning, they win 13-10. This day has been pretty long. Most of the games that we have played have gotten to double digits for both the sides. Look at JN, the 23 frags, Zoid on the other side with 19. The MVPs did really show up, but it's not just the MVP. You look at Bondef, you look at Panzer, Tristan, Juven, all of them have 15 kills minimum. On the
Yep.
other side as well, I feel like Chobs does have 8 kills, but he did more than enough.
Yeah, true.
I mean, the amount of utility, the amount of tripwires, and the amount of map control he gave to his team was instrumental. But, overall, Sasquatch, the defense looked a little weak, whereas Reckoning, they just looked a better side in the map of Bind. In Haven, it was a much more tighter contest, but in the map of Bind, in spite of getting that 75 lead in the first half, I didn't really feel like Sasquatch have any sort of an opportunity because Reckoning, they just showed in the first map what they're capable of in the final third of the game. And I was just expecting that in the back of my mind. All right, this is the comeback that's coming in our way. And we did see that. I mean, 5, 6, or probably 7 rounds on a trot. That's just Reckoning Esports.
Yeah, when you consider Sus Squad, they're a team that have proven themselves on the map of Haven to be really proficient on the attacker side, but their defense side is just a little bit too weak. But when you consider the map of Mine and its storyline, they were really good on the side of defense. They knew what avenues they really needed to hold, and Fringy with that judge was able to do a lot of damage and tilt his opposition in the same possible way as well. So, in a way, getting into your opponent's head is just as important. But when you consider the attacking side, it felt as though it was Reckoning getting into the hands of Sus Squads, and at that stage, like what really did go wrong? Your attacking side is weak here on one map, but really strong on the other. You need to try and fix it out and iron out a lot of these problems. But in a way, really good try coming down through from Susquehanna, ladies and gentlemen, as they were the underdogs of this story. And hey, Reckoning, you're the big dogs. You deserve this win. So let's head on down over to the group standings and
Big
see
dogs.
exactly where. Okay, can we not? That was not even an intentional pun. You just made it into a pun. I understand. Reckoning, they have a dog as their main logo. It could be a dog, it could be a wolf. Please don't kill me in the comment section, but at the same time, well played from the side of Reckoning. 11 points on the board. They're pretty, like, they're literally high up there. Like, they're like the literal kings. They still have one more match to go. like to pad out those stats and finish everything off on a good note.
Absolutely. True Rippers, they lose a number one spot because of Reckoning. We talked about this. They had the opportunity to get to the number one spot in Reckoning. They grabbed them with both hands. A 2-0 victory against the Sus squad, who find themselves in the sixth spot, honestly. And with just a game remaining for them, it becomes a little difficult to actually overtake Velocity Gaming in the process, who have 2 games remaining for them. Effectively, Velocity Gaming, I guess they can still potentially reach up to 11 points, but it's going to be a little too difficult. But consider, we've talked about this before as well. Velocity, I don't think they're going to lose the remainder of the matches. That effectively means that Sus squad wouldn't really qualify for the playoffs. But that doesn't really isn't really that bad, because I feel like they've played good game. They have been a tough competitor for most of the teams, and today we got to see their real metal. I feel like we will really enjoy seeing them in the next season as well.
Yeah, considering the fact that Cesco, they've grown a lot here in this tournament, I'm really hoping that they're gonna just keep on growing and bring something a little bit more different, moving on forward towards season number 3. But at the same time, they need to try and keep their position here and try to ward off relegation, because there's still a couple of games to play. They need to try and win those out to try and guarantee the spot here to avoid relegation, so that still they have a chance of directly getting on down over towards the group stages when you consider season number 3. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for all the matches today. It's been a long day. It's been an intense one for sure, considering all the casting that we have done, all the analysis, and of course the teams just toying with our feelings, and also with the judge showing up on the server as well, completely ruining my mood. No offense to you, Cringy, but I know for a fact you got to do it. This is a professional level game, and you want to have as many advantages as possible. And the judge is one of those things that can work out both on the server and also outside of the server to break someone's monitor. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you are breaking your own monitors as well because of a judge, make sure to check the links down below on the description. We got LG Ultragear monitors for you. And as you are also down there, we also got a couple of things from the side of WB Black and AMD Ryzen. If you want to get that processor, if you want to get that SSD to get that super fast speed so that you can compete at the highest levels just as these pros, get yourself an upgrade, because you deserve it after watching these intense games. Because honestly, I'm really hyped up to play. I'm going to be heading into a match soon enough as well by myself. But before I do sign things off here, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe as well to support the stream and also support the Esports Club, because when you are here, the action just never stops and it's just going to keep on going. But for now, it's going to be your boy Aggressive, joined by Soldi, signing on off. And we're going to be back with you soon tomorrow with the LG Ultragear Tec Gauntlet Season 2, part of WB Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. Good night and happy gaming.